the majority of occasions. So this is a really weird occurrence where the majority have actually been against them. So teams perhaps fearing SCARZ on this map, and they get the benefit now of hiding it.
Yeah, and we saw it once tonight, a team playing a map that we haven't seen before. I knew you wanted to say it, but I want to get in first.
I know, mate. I know.
But that did not pan out the way that CAG would have wanted. So it's interesting to see now that SCARZ are able to pick this map.
Yep.
Let's see how well they prep for it.
Yeah, let's hope that they can lock in here. Kinotrope with a 3-0 record in the last 6 months, so they're very comfortable on this map. However, the last win leaves a lot to the imagination. An 8-6 overtime victory against Trippy Main Telecom. So that's probably a result that you would have expected to be a lot more clear-cut given their record. However, we know what Siege is like, and teams on their given day can chop and change quite a lot. Jake said, no, it's Finditi. Do you have me? Oh, mushroom.
Hello?
Mushroom. Oh, mushroom.
Mushroom man.
Oh, this guy left it up the cough button on. Ah, okay, he stitched me up. Oh, okay, whatever. Anyway.
Wait, it's a toggle button. Okay.
Yeah, it's apparently
Fancy
a toggle button. Then he left it on. All right, let's get into this one. It's good to be...
Michael did a great job.
It's good to be with you, though, Nick, and I'm sure you're happy to now have an actual play-by-play and not whatever Michael is.
You know, I always want to say that I like a person who tries very hard. Michael did try, you know? So just because it comes natural and you're good at it doesn't mean that I'm going to appreciate you more.
Try indeed he did, and well, for Kinotrope and SCARZ, time to try. Mate, I'm the king of the segue. Nick, you got to get used to it, okay? You think I'm going one way, but I've already started going the other. I'm now turning our attention to this game. It's one that obviously has high importance in this lower bracket semi-final. The future opponent for one of these two now set in D+. Well, Kinotrope obviously a decent stage, and I'm sure everyone's pretty content with what they've done thus far. For SCARZ, competitive against CAG by a barrel back in that upper bracket semi-final. In fact, Nick, they probably could have won it. 8-7 their way on Fortress on the opening map, then lost 6-8 on Lair. Bank, well and truly, they got smashed, but very competitive. SCARZ, for me, favorites in this matchup. On their map pick of Chalet, they start defense.
I have a soft spot for Kinotrope, I have to say. I think they play some different steeds, some funky strats, some Maestro. They were playing my Jaeger before they became meta with the most recent patch that came out. And I feel like we don't have the most creatively expressive maps here in Chalet and Lair, but just wait until we get to the second map of Clubhouse, okay? That's where Kinotrope can be the difference maker. But for now, to lock it in here, they're on the attacks of Chalet. Nothing standing out of the usual norm here. They got a shield, they got a Deimos, they got a line, they're playing long, faraway angles, and they banned away two of the key operators in defense, in the Asami and the Mira. That's going to help you hold that extended room towards library. We saw Rex start the round, but they're going to fall on back immediately off that first line scan. They do not want to mess around on the extension. No,
not messing it around at all. This does, though, give a bit of space for Kinotrope to make their push in through Barstock. Is actually Gatorada on the buck. Eclair makes his way west main. Gator also on the trophy side, so they've actually got pressure both sides of the map early on here for Kinotrope. Cole, this is bedroom office, but first floor presence to begin with. Up the mezzanine now goes Kowal. But I like the fact that at the very least they are showing something on both sides here of this top floor.
Yeah. It's very important to know that they have, you know, Cow on the front side, they have hard destructions of the office walls, while they have both the Deimos Tracker and Bog downstairs. So they can really open up the bomb side from the up above, fight them from beneath. That's a direct counter to the clash, and any defender sprinting around the bomb side, as most of this floor is going to be self-destroyable. So Kinotrope with a very good attacking strategy, something that we don't see all that often, but can be highly effective if you find these couple of players.
Caillou rushing up trophy stairs. Nitrocell doesn't hit the mark on him. He's now just going to hold that position, doesn't over-invest on the rush, instead stays trophy side. 60 seconds remaining in this opening round. Slow approach from Gatorada. He may look to then put pressure Piano. It's a big nade indeed. Ayugator gets the first kill onto Washoy. That was also one of the Nitrocells. There's only one left now, the newly acquired one for the Wamai of Rec.
You see how uncomfortable they are right now. Ukits and Fish-like, right? That's Ozadinho. They can't find a comfortable spot to sit in because of verticality and the fear of the Deimos tracker. Now they got a Rada on the bathroom window as well. Cutting more across. Here comes in the blitz. They get all the kills.
Yeah, they do. They flood Piano very nicely. I like the switch up for Akayu. Rather than over-investing Solar, they bring him back. They send him into Piano. Now they can get the plant, not even needed. The Clash, not even involved. They circumnavigate around the Clash altogether. That is some really, really good attacking that we see in the opening round. That was solid from Kinotrope.
I'm telling you, the Kinotrope, they're a sleeper team for a long time, or the last year and a half when they were in APL. They were, I feel like James and I in particular were hyping them up to be a lot bigger than they were, and they kept falling short, not meeting those expectations. Then we kind of let go of our expectations and said, well, they're not the team that we thought they were. They make, a couple of roster changes, got a Rada, AG, they joined the roster, and I thought, okay, now they might become a little SCARZ. A frag-heavy, fast-paced team, and it's gonna be like a worse version of SCARZ and a worse version of CAG. But that's not the case at all. Kinotrope here in Stage 1 of 2026 has been their own team with their own identity. They got the old strategical flair that players like Yakawa and Akayu will bring to the table, but now they also have the entry franking power of Gatarada and Aegator, former CAG players themselves. And they have found this kind of nice mixed identity in the middle where they are a very unique team. And like you said, great first attack there from Kinotrope, and I very much agree. It's not a super common attacking strategy, but maybe it should be. Applying so much pressure vertically and horizontally at the same time, and countering the Clash operator without never really facing it head on. It's a beautiful way of utilizing the self-destruction the game provides here in Siege. In the second round, the lineup will change quite drastically. No shield operator on the attack, but they keep onto that map control and movement controlling operators. The Dogebi, the Lion, the Grim, the Nomad. This is all about finding people in those corner positions that you're playing for, mezzanine, top blue, etc., and weakening those individual positions, trying to go for an early man advantage.
Yeah, it puts a lot of emphasis though on Kawao probably with the air jabs to maybe get some dislodging. If he's not going to use that for any potential flanks, sometimes over towards fireplace stairs you might pop one depending on if there's a roamer down in basement. But I like the lineup still though for SCARZ because they actually can get a lot of information from Fish-like on the pulse. With Yukiz on that Wamai, they have triple nitro plus the catch that you now get, so they're really well stocked, plus trap utility between the Thorn and the Ella. This is not going to be an easy clear defensively on this top floor. Bar games, obviously, you want to get that library control. And I think that with Yukiz playing this corner position with the catch now and still having the threat of Nitro from this position, say throwing that at the windowsill, this is something that Kinotrope maybe haven't had to deal with before.
Yeah, at the very least, been a very long time, and I guess that actually dates how old the roster is, so you're right, maybe never in their time as a roster. So they got a bunch of throwables though. Air jabs, flashbangs, smoke grenades, maybe a twitch get in the mix and clear some of those magnets as well. Library is a bit of a no man's land. Yes, you have Yuki stuck in the corner, but outside of that, no one can really exist in that space. Kinotrope just holding angles, waiting for SCARZ to make the first move, but they're being very patient. No one is overstepping. Yuki still holds library control. They still have Reg and Mezzanine playing that Warden, and the more time you spend right now waiting, the more magnets Yuki will have as the Wamai. So the timer is actually against Kinotrope right now more than ever. They gotta start making that first push happen.
Caillou lurks over towards Mod to just open up the barricade. As he said, though, the time is getting quite low for Kinotrope. 50 seconds, still haven't cleared out library by now. Usually, this has been cleared and an objective that's been usually dealt with.
It's 1,000 magnets.
There's indeed 1,000 magnets. At some point, they're going to have to push in. Eclair will do that through the mezzanine from big window side. They get rid of Wreck. That's a big power play position that has been eliminated. Somehow, Fish-like ends up dying to Aegator from dining. I don't know how the Pulse should be dying there. He was bar stock originally, and in fact, ironically, it's Yukiz that's the one that's left. He now gets cleared. Everyone else fell apart, and it seems like for Kinotrope, this is just simply a 3-2-1 where they've executed all at the same time until Nina finds two, able to stop that plant from going down. As Kawao able to go on, grab the kill, and Claire gets the kill on the drop down. A strange round, but credit again to Kinotrope. They all flooded at the same time.
Oh my. I mean, we're looking at the frontal takeout. Yuki's in the corner. That's going to be the mainstay player, right? He's going to be first in action or first to die. That's the expectations for the round. Then the story became Kinotrope are locked out of the building. They can't find the opening pick, and they can't find an angle in towards the bombs either. So it's going to probably be a chaotic round, or maybe even a loss for Kinotrope. But no, they brute force the problem. They jump in off his balcony, they fight Mezzanine first, and like you said, Yukis, who was stuck in library corner, ends up being the second last defender alive. They take everything else. Dining, office, master bedroom, blue stairs control, the bomb site itself. A great push once more from Kinotrope. Problem solving on point, even though it took a lot of time, it came together in the end.
This is a pretty early tactical timeout on the opening map of Chalet for SCARZ, but admittedly, the first 2 rounds, they've not really looked likely at all. You've got double opening kills that have gone the way of Kinotrope. They're clearly having better control. When Kinotrope decide they want to do something, so far in both opening rounds, they've been able to execute what they've clearly been setting up to try and accomplish. And that's where the concern probably would be for SCARZ, is at no point have they been able to counterattack, essentially, disrupt what Kinotrope are doing, and get themselves into a position where they're leading in the round. It's actually quite passive defensively from SCARZ.
Yeah. Yeah, first round, right, you're playing around the Clash, for example, trying to hold things down horizontally. Second round, you're playing utility in library and mezzanine with a warden, a shield, and magnets. SCARZ historically have been a very aggro-heavy team, and they play the game of disruption. And if you're looking at Kinotrope's current attacking style, they like having 5 attackers alive, different gadgets, different angles of attack, and they can just leverage that and say 3, 2, 1. We know what we're doing. You have no idea what we're about to do to you. So I do feel like if SCARZ want to go for it, you gotta change up the conversation. What that means is, right now, you try and go for an early kill. Disruption. Even if you trade 1 for 1, so you go from a 5v5 to a 4v4, you're removing a key operator from Kinotrope, a pivotal spot, an angle that's not being held, a gadget that could be crucial. For example, if you take down either a Claire, a Caillou, or a Aegita right now, that Scrim, Deimos, or Lion, super high value target. So it's super worth it, I think, to try and take a bit of a risky play. This is Chalet defense. It's similar to Bank defense in the sense that you don't have a lot of areas on the map that is super comfortable as a defender. You have holographic scopes mostly against all ACOG scopes as well. I mean, Akali in this round actually with the big sniper rifle. So you do have to go for some acts of desperation at times. And I don't think SCARZ has shown that to us yet. And I'm curious how many more round losses it's going to take before they try and go back to their old usual ways.
Well, they're playing a full trap-centric loader in this 3rd round as they go back to bedroom office. Wamai is the only operator that they've kept the same from that opening round. And it does mean that, you know, you can throw your charisma mines, you can place your Vulcan canister, you can throw out your razor blooms, and then you can be aggressive. The trap utility then is already placed. They can keep some of it in pocket, which I think is smart, depending on how Kinotrope want to be pushing in. Fishlike does find that opening kill, so a little bit better again on the roam. It's interesting they've kept 1 Vulcan canister, they've kept 1 Grismite, they've kept 1 razor bloom, so they've made sure that they've got a little bit of something. If they do need to change up how they want to use some of this utility, that they've got all at least 1 piece each. But the fact they get rid of the IQ is quite important in this round, considering how much utility they do have for the IQ to get rid of.
Also, the position that IQ is playing from trophy window, because the way you take downstairs control is you try and find the gap. Westman window and trophy, there's going to be a gap at one of those entry points, but because Aegita dies early, now a Claire can't into the building. So somebody else has to rotate on over, or a shot just jumps out, makes the play happen instead. This is SCARZ taking that aggression to Kinotrope, disrupting them from attacking. They've accomplished that. Now, in a perfect world, you fall back, you play the crossfire, you play the discipline, because on paper, the only way to lose this round now for SCARZ is if you give individual 1v1 gunfights to Kinotrope and you lose them.
But this is literally what we were talking about, Nick. We needed to see this from SCARZ, and out of the timeout, this is what they bring. They bring a little bit more aggression, maybe a little bit too much, but it's worked. You know, I wasn't insinuating they needed to start doing jump outs. I didn't insinuate that they needed to start playing to that level of aggression, but it is good to see from SCARZ that they're trending far better in the right direction, and it does pay off this time. And I agree with you. This is where you want to now, with 50 seconds left in the round, you don't need to keep going for jump outs and playing and stretching the map. Just fall back, play the site, bedroom office. You can stay tucked in, force Kinotrope to have to force themselves into the site. Even still now, Wishoy is clearing out games. It is Rack that gets the kill onto Eclair, and this is turning into SCARZ round very comfortably, doing to Kinotrope what Kinotrope did to them back in the opening round on this same site. Means for SCARZ, they will get their first round. It's just a matter of, will it be flawless? That's probably the only question. Gatterite, we never really saw this Kali get to play at all in this round. In fact, really for Kinotrope, because of the disruption from SCARZ, they didn't get to play their attacking strategy.
That's exactly right. And it feels like right now, I was going to say that we lost the server, but we didn't. Seems like right now Kinotrope are more talking amongst themselves in the server than actually going for a round win. They'll get a kill each, because guys are feeding them these kills, walking in the direction, want to end the round earlier. Kinotrope are also known for this, actually. When they're in a round is lost position, they will call a, so to speak, fake tactical timeout. They'll just AFK in the server, talk amongst each other, and hold an angle like they just did there, and preparing for the future. They're a very effective team when it comes to utilizing every single second. Wamai could honestly be a target ban right now. I think Wamai, Clash are all very high in value. Curious if there's going to be a curveball in there or not. And for the attack, I frankly have no idea.
Clash?
Deimos, question mark?
Well, the Clash also, well, I mean, okay, so I was also thinking if the Clash had have been left up and the Blitz had have been banned, you would have been in a situation, no Blitz, no Monty, and Clash available, already shown in that opening round. Intriguing, as you said, the Thorn has been played, and, you know, interesting when Thorn kind of got buffed a while back. Thorn was in and out of the ban list every now and then, but certainly not recently. That is a strange one. I'm not too sure if that's just to try and weaken the overall trap-heavy-centric lineups that we're seeing from SCARZ, so they want to take away the Razor Bloom shells and not have to deal with the Thorn. Thorn's got a really good gun as well, and Deimos is, well, Deimos, that's a pretty self-explanatory ban from SCARZ.
Yeah. The thing about the Thorn is, it's a very unique trap operator in the sense that it is, okay, not literally, but in the most realistic way, it's the only trap operator that can actually get a kill and has like a lethal threat. Sure, like a Frostman can jump in, get injured, you probably die, but it's much easier to find it with the drone. You jump in, you look down, you can shoot it, etc. The Razor Blooms can be anywhere, in the small nook and crannies, in the ceilings. It can hide in any of those like the destructible areas, etc. And if it's paired with a barbed wire or any sort of slowing effect, it will do a ton of damage and give you that limping effect where you can't sprint for 12 to 15 seconds or whichever. The Elemine, yeah, it's gonna give away your location, it's gonna blur your vision and take away your game sound. The Goya Flare is gonna make you not push for 20 seconds, but you're staying alive. Kinotrope, they're very much putting an emphasis on, we don't want to die to unnecessary gadgetry. We'd rather deal with clearing out the util to go for a plant, or to only be slowed down when it comes to the push, not die when we go to the push. So while it's surprising of all the trap operators, I agree with you. I think Thorn might make the most sense in this case. Kinotrope also is in a huge shield team that hasn't been brought out this round. Aegeta goes down the buck, losing a bit of verticality, but they're doubling down. They also have Kava on the ram. So as long as they can go for the roam clear top floor, which will be more tricky now, they still have the right operators to get the job done.
We have gone basement as well here in this fourth round, which I feel like over the years has slightly gone out of favor on Chalet. We don't see it anywhere near as much. And I'm going to be honest with you, Nick, I'm starting to not trust my tracker because it's saying that it's not being played this stage. I refuse to believe that, surely. This can't be the first time we're seeing basement in APAC North.
Sending a payload.
But it's not impossible either, because again, it's not
correct.
really like completely meta. It's not something you see as often these days. And with that pick onto Aegeta, you can fall back, play site, 90 seconds, you got the shockwave batteries, keep the wall reinforced, you've still got gas babes. They're almost playing this almost as if it's a time denial. Gas babes, keep them at bay. Gatorada's just kind of poking outside wine, clears out boiler, doesn't spot anything. This is turning into a bit of a frustration round for Kinotrope.
Yeah, they have almost no heart destruction either, just the can openers on the Kaio and the Striker, so they have very limited options for their attack and approach. So I guess down the main staircase, Kaio will go. Notice that the player is stuck in the corner, he was thrown down to a second to go. Gatorada dies, and so does Eclair. Kaio finds a tree, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2v4 with 6 hits to go, and Kinotrope have no way into the bomb side.
No, this is looking as if it's going to be a tied-up scoreline at 2 apiece, courtesy of SCARZ. Going to basement, finding a result. It started with Wreck. Got that swing kill onto Aegeta. And that meant as well the floor ports couldn't get opened up anywhere near as much as if that skeleton key was to be useful throughout the majority of the round. And this actually feels like deja vu from round 3 on Bedroom Office with 2 left alive for Kinotrope, where they're just going to sit still, see if they can maybe find someone, let the round time out. But for SCARZ, I mean, we got to give them props here, Nick, as after the tactical timeout, back-to-back, the one in a way in which we wanted to see them play, which was a bit more aggression, and it's got them into winning positions in 2 rounds straight.
Exactly right. It is back to the old Scar ways.
But this is now where Kinotrope have to adapt
Leo,
themselves.
their coach. It is. It's a matter of now either matching the aggression and, taking, the fast intra-operators, maybe get a shield in the mix, or do the opposite. You slow down a little bit because they're solo jumping in windows and taking map control and just losing their individual gunfight. So instead of trying to take all the map control at once, you can send 3 people with a guy droning and take, let's say, trophy. Right? You get that, either you take the kill or you force SCARZ to fall back because they feel all that pressure. So the good news is Kinotrope have a ton of ways to solve this problem. The issue is, it's not as easy when you're an active player in the server because you're all feeling that the problem is something else. If you're the guy who jumped in trophy window, for example, and died to a guy roaming, we don't know if they said it was clear and it wasn't, like it was a missed drone. They don't know if it's a guy saying, I'm gonna skip a corner, I'm not gonna drone all of them, I'm just gonna jump on in. There are so many ways that things can go wrong early in a round in Siege because there's so many small details in every single round. For Kinotrope, in the most simplest of ways, I would love to see a shield get picked up for one of these final 2 rounds, just because it simplifies the gunfighting aspect of this. And we're looking at SCARZ right now. They want the fights. They're taking operators that are very comfortable in doing so, but they're also being smart because they are playing operators like your Ella, which is a huge shield counter. And perhaps because that Kinotrope don't feel comfortable going for it because they don't have a typical shield player.
You know, the only round they have not played Ella was the opening round, and Blitz was brought in that round. And if you recall, Nick, that was the trophy clear into the piano clear. The Blitz was doing whatever Akayu wanted to do with it. And then since then, credit to SCARZ, they've played, okay, they've said straight away, you got one. You got one where we didn't bring any trap utility. Look at that opening round. Smoke, Kaid, Valk, Clash, Wamai. Nothing like what we've seen now from SCARZ since then. And hence why Kinotrope aren't there bringing the shield. This is, by the way, the 3rd straight round that AEGate has been the opening death. And on important operators like the IQ and the Buck, and now the Ace, you lose the hard breach. You do have secondary openers with Eclair, but that's not going to be all that useful in certain positions here on Bar Games. This is looking really good for SCARZ. They have completely turned it around since that timeout.
They're clear on to go into the basement, use the Ace Selma charge to open up the stock wall in that basement staircase, and therefore maybe try and hit the bombs at afterwards at the Grim and the Capital. But plan A is completely dead now because Kinotrope quite literally cannot reach that wall any longer. So now it's extra desperation, we're going fishing, or going hunting for a kill. They're outside the building, a library balcony, and they've already spent half their Grim Beast, more than half now actually. Final Twitch to be in the hallways right now as well. 1 fire has gone, they've gained nothing with any of this util. They still have a Mind Magnets upstairs. They still have a player on mezzanine.
Oh, Kayu snuck in. He's completely snuck through. SCARZ have just left a huge gap on this top floor. Rek able to get the kill onto Eclair as he was able to take over Barstock position, watching big window, big damage onto Kawau, just barely stays alive for both of them. Kayu, who started it all off, finds a huge 3rd kill onto Rek and leaves it down to Nina in the 1 versus 2. So much time still left in this round, but Kawau, he puts an end to it. What a strange one. After that opening kill for SCARZ, I felt like they were well set, but they just allowed Akayu to walk on through, somehow top library, through the stairs, got the kill through the hatch, and you've got to be scratching your head if you're SCARZ.
They have 3 different defenders that could be watching that angle, right? A player in stock downstairs that can watch the window jump in from library, a player in the blue staircase, and they had a 3rd defender somewhere on mezzanine right before Capital got those couple of kills. It's very lucky for Kinotrope that they realized that, hey, this is actually an FPS game. We can't just go for kills and hit some headshots. And that's the thing. When Kinotrope are forced into a position where they cannot play strategy, they have been really strong in the gunfight area. But they only choose to go for that when it's necessary. It's their last resort, if you will. You do have players like your AEGate and Garavara who are a bit more of a loose cannon in the server, and it's how AEGate has died 3 times in a row, like you said, IQ, Bach, and Ace. And if you can just fix that one weakness, AEGate dying a little bit too early, it can actually solve a lot of their problems.
Well, I've gone back and had a little bit of a look here on my telestrator on the right monitor, Nick, and it's very intriguing. So at minute 42, 5v4 on Bar Games, SCARZ basically just gave up top floor. Like, it completely gave it up. For some reason, Nina's over at, like, Master Bathroom across the other side of the map. Yuki's by himself, Library Stairs. And then 2 players in Bar and 1 in Barstock. So it's a positional error from SCARZ that costs them. They've quite literally just allowed Akayu up through library, gets the free kill through the hatch from their library stairs. Yukis is by himself and not expecting it. SCARZ kind of threw that round with their own positioning, and now heading into round 6, must win bedroom office to tie up the scoreboard.
That's a tough one. And look at that. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Aegeta gets the opening pick this time onto Ashoy. It's that Nemesis hunting for revenge. And it's going to be the glass as well. Now, they have shown the upgrade of glass since he got the pick, so it's not going to be a surprise factor later on. But I think just going good for the opening is going to be all that matters right now. They get a ton of map control with that. The SCARZ now feeling that pressure to make a play elsewhere, peeking out the windows, walking down staircases. They recognize that the bomb site itself is quite vulnerable to this attack. We also know there's a Capital in the mix, the Bok verticality. SCARZ need to go for disruption. They need to try and find these picks. And Kinotrope, they got to use their drones a lot more accurately this time around. Make sure that nobody's going to get flanked.
Well, I mean, you say that they're going to go for these picks and try and find these kill sneaks, but, you know, if you're roaming around on site, look at the two operators, the Glaz and the Kali that are watching these angles. You've got to be so careful moving around, really, as a defender. I think for SCARZ, there's 90 seconds, 4v5. I mean, if they can bide some time, maybe Kinotrope will spend a little too long on these longer held angled positions with the Kali. The Glaz is at the moment down in basement, so not really a factor for a top floor site. Not the end of the world right now for SCARZ.
No, we're missing the Bok right now. If Bok was downstairs in Trophy and breaking their floor part a bit more, they have a player on Solarium Repel and Kali on the rooftop. Yukit should just be a dead player, but... Oh no, here comes the gap maybe. Okay, they see the player beneath, so Bok's not just gonna jump in and die this time around, but they gotta get someone else to help him. We cannot 50-50 this gunfight. Akayo's in Trophy window. They do have the 2v1 potential, but like you said, time is gonna be a problem. In 50 seconds, and most attackers are still only now
I don't think
entering the building.
Aegeta knows where Nina is, by the way. Aegeta's just pushed out West Main. Nina in Dining, well, now does turn around and take the fight as Nina got that kill and the second. Nina's position has worked out for SCARZ. An off-angle hole down below inside Dining as they started to make their way over towards Trophy, and Nina finds a third. He's gotten all three now in the round for SCARZ. Desperately in the final round of this half, Nina makes a big play. He repositioned. They had no idea as to where, and he completely surprises them. And Gatorada, who's been holding outside the map all round long, is still outside the map. 10 seconds. They've completely run out of time. They don't have kit. 2v4. This is done. They cannot win this round. SCARZ will tie it up at 3-all here in the opening map of this lower bracket semi-final. Big response from Nina and SCARZ. We are tied 3-all.
A critical last round for SCARZ there. Not going to say they'd be on the ropes at 4-2 by any means, but it's not a good look going into the second half if you can't bring that back. And they bring it back from a 5 versus 4. Nina, who really hasn't had the biggest impact all game, somehow in that round just flicks a switch. And that's the thing, these players in Japan, mate, they go mental.
Especially Nina. I mean, had such an amazing group stage and really turned it on. And we didn't see a whole lot from them throughout the first 5 rounds. 5 rounds, of that half, but was able to turn on in the last, and it was kind of strange the way that round ended. It looked like everyone sort of stopped and the attack just sort of shut down, but relatively even, 3-3 going to the first half.
Yeah, and that's I think that's pretty important, especially for SCARZ context, knowing that they took a little bit of a gamble on this map, Michael. Yeah. A 4-2 first half. Look, granted, yeah, it's on defense, and you could still claim in a way that it might be attacker-sided, but I think that ultimately in this series, if SCARZ didn't go 3-3 there, we would be looking at a very different discussion right now.
Yeah, probably. I think the thing that stood out to me was sort of just the tempo and the timing of the kind of rounds and how they played out in this first half. Like the time of the opening kill in the first 2 rounds was in the final minute of the round, so it was left really, really late. And Kinotrope actually thrived in that environment. Despite them being so late in the piece, they found both. Attacks looked strong. The pacing then stepped up massively. The next 4 rounds, it was super quick, fast-paced. SCARZ were able to work advantages early, and on a map like Chalet, that can just give you way more freedom. If you allow the attack to choke you out on Chalet, it's really difficult to rotate, and we saw that play out. So I'm intrigued to see in the second half, what does that pacing look like, and who does that ultimately favor?
Do you know what my favorite thing is? Aegator being a part of 5 out of the 6 opening kills or deaths. Shout out Aegator, still staying aggressive after all these years. But as we now flip to the second half, I mean, are we expecting SCARZ to kind of dictate the pace as they move to attack? Yeah,
it's tough to know. I think on Chalet in particular, it does come down to the defensive side. If they really want to push the pace and go back at the attack, then it's on them. As Guz said, if you let yourself sort of get cornered and pinched away like we saw with the Glaz and the Kali in that first half as well, it can become quite claustrophobic around the map. So I think it's on Kinotrope.
Well, it might be on Kinotrope, but SCARZ have not played this map. So I tell you what, they go here, and that ends up coming to fruition. We're going to have a lovely little discussion after this second half. Speaking of which, let's leave it in the capable hands.
So as we return, all tied, 3-all, and I've got to be honest here, Nick. I thought Kinotrope started really, really well, clearly in the opening 2 rounds, and then we saw the tactical timeout from SCARZ, and they adapted really, really well, and that's really what you want. Yeah, sure, the opposing team clearly got off to a good start. Sometimes there's not much you can do about that, but what you can do is how you respond to it, and SCARZ did. I think it's great that we sit at 3-3. Both teams have kind of thrown their punch each. Now as we switch side, we kind of get to do it all over again. The only difference is SCARZ no longer have their tactical timeout. Kinotrope still have theirs.
I'm glad you pointed out, because if Kinotrope can start gaining that momentum and win the first round or 2 and start playing these heavy util operators, and SCARZ cannot call attack anymore to like make their adaptations, that could be how Chalet just ends. Because look at these operators from Kinotrope. This is super out of the norm. They are actually the team in the world that plays the most amount of Maestro, and it's not even close. And they will do it on all sorts of maps. They did it on on Clubhouse against D+ only a couple of play days ago. They're doing it here in Chalet now. It's Kawa or Akayu usually playing the operator. And he played for information, for plant denial, to kill a couple of drones. Sometimes they'll even do it to deny the heart breaching. Like, there is a world, I haven't seen where Akayu has put all his eyes or evil eyes just yet, but he might have one that maybe oversees any of the reinforced walls, and if Hibana tries to breach them, you go sap, 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 and now you can't do it anymore. And the thing is, often you hide the Maestro in the prep phase for as long as possible, and if you don't get to get one of those counter operators like a Brava, for example, you can't do much about it. What you can also do is you can play these passive, heavy util operators, and then have cover, run out the office door at Frost, and get the opening pick onto the only heart breacher in the server.
Yeah, that's a brutal start to the half, unfortunately, for SCARZ. To lose Nina in that way, to go out from the Frost to find that opening kill. Bedroom offers again the site. It feels like this is all we've seen so far. This is going to be the 4th time in 7 rounds that this is the site. And Chalet is the kind of map that you can definitely see many different sites, but we're just overwhelmingly playing Bedroom and Office right now in this game. Again, it is the map pick of SCARZ, so if Kinotrope do steal this Clubhouse, it could be 2-0 territory. SCARZ need to be very careful in this second half. No timeout on the attack, and if Kinotrope keep finding these opening kills, which they've largely been pretty good at so far, they're going to definitely have some worries. Fishlight pushing into Piano. They are starting to close the gap here to get into Office. That's going to force this battle towards the half wall. Swinging from Fishlight. There is a down onto Kowal, and Aegator falls, and so does Eclair. But it's a 2 versus 2. Lion Scan activated from UKIS, and Fishlight still very, very low, and they may not be aware of Akayu over towards West Main, now through Dining.
Because Sap Fishlight here on the Black Pit is so low on health. They have an Evil Eye in Office and Master Bedroom. So if they see the right plant locations, he'll die in 1 or 2 steps. Evil Eye. Here it comes. 1-2. Gets the injure. That's it. They get the camera and trade. But this was worth it. Even get the confirmation as well. Another one in Solarium. They get a red ping on the flank onto Library, but this is the thing. There's going to be so much intel here from Kinotrope on the defense upstairs. They don't have to go for kills. They can wait down the timer and force UKIS and make him uncomfortable.
I like the fact that he said it was worth it to trade a player for an Evil Eye, but you know what? I agree with you. That allows plant down. UKIS force the 1v1. They trade! They actually trade! But unfortunately for UKIS, there's still one alive for Kinotrope. It is the Maestro. Oh, maybe the trade wasn't worth it after all. It left an extra body for Kinotrope. They will take the 7th round.
Beautiful. I love how we're seeing a very unique operator in the Maestro, one of the only teams in the world globally who's playing this operator, and it comes in to save the round. There was a big issue in that round for Kinotrope. I'm not going to say it was perfect, okay? No one was playing in piano. They had a deployable shield, they killed the only heart breacher on the attack as the opening pick, and they weren't playing in the most pivotal spot of piano, who kind of glues together the whole bomb side. So that was an error, okay, that happens, but they clutch it in the end. Good use of information, utility, and also a little bit lucky, I guess, that Blackbeard is so low on health that a couple of Maestro sets will get the job done. They had 2 Evil Eyes out of the 3 that he has that could see him. Had they gone for an obvious plant there, that could have been a different story. But that's what I said. SCARZ had no idea where those Evil Eyes were until it was too late. They steal back the momentum. They're going to keep playing these different kinds of util operators now into Mira, or maybe Kaid. They're trying to lock SCARZ into playing these anti-util operators. Your Twitch, your Brave, your Thatcher. Operators that make you weaker in the killing department so that the gunfights of Kinotrope will have more success. Because imagine this. In this round, you're up against Thatcher, Nomad, Twitch, Hibana. Nothing really too scary, right? Almost no lethal utility. That could have been a Deimos, it could have been a Blitz, it could have been a Finger, it could have been things that are much more scary in the gunfight department. So Kinotrope are forcing themselves into an advantageous position on a map that usually doesn't lean that way for the defenders.
Yeah, Kinotrope look like they've probably... I know it's only 4-3 on the scoreboard. It is reflective. Kinotrope have had the edge here on Chalet, and they get the edge in this round with that opener kill onto Yukiz. The man that was last alive in the previous round, now the first dead and on the solid snake. Not going to help anyway for Yukiz and SCARZ. He would have been so helpful in being able to push through basement, clear out any potential roamers, and of which there is one in Kawau. They may not be aware of that now. He's in Wine. He can go play West Main or Library Stairs, and you don't have that snake to go clear him out. Plus, you're just down a body in general, and I don't think Kinotrope are going to play bar games in the same way that we saw SCARZ play it back in the 5th round where they gave up that library control. They've still got to clear on Mezzanine, and he's got a mirror window. So how are you going to deal with that? It's probably with Rek with the shock drones, and Rek with the FAMAS gets the kill onto Ayagator. SCARZ desperately needed that kill.
And they did. It's not over just yet. Again, look at the attack on operators that left standing. They don't do a ton for the remainder of this round necessarily. Washoy, unironically being Hibana, has been a playmaker, has flashbangs and hot destruction. Here's the step. Flashbang comes in. The trade not there for the pre-fire. Hiding around the corner, goes for a second swing. This time gets the kill for Washoy. That right there opens up the round for SCARZ even further. Don't overstay your welcome though. If Kinotrope are looking for a kill, they will go hunting for it, which what Kawa's doing right now, looking towards dining.
This is also now forced Eclair to have to give up Mezzanine, Nick, because of this pressure coming from Piano side. He's gone into Library. I don't actually know if he ended up breaking that mirror window, if we can actually check, because it's quite important at this point, no longer playing it. It is still up. He is still somewhat playing around it. Like, he has to be careful now at this Mezzanine position. He's no longer got really any help. Previously, he had got Arata pushed up. He's now playing this very aggressively, all the way big window outside Ego, and he will go for the jump out. He did not need to make that play, and Washoy is quick to react. SCARZ suddenly have a lifeline back into this 8th round. They've got a 2-player advantage. The only downside is the time, with 28 seconds left. Still double nitro for Kinotrope and Kawau and Akayu, but SCARZ can flood the site. They've got the numbers.
We have 2 players who are low in health, though. And as you said already, time is slow, and they want to get the hatches. Guys, you might be biting off more than you can chew. You got to pick your targets right now, your approaches. Down the staircase, down the hatch. They gotta get the right timing and work together.
Do they even have the time to clear out Mudroom? No, Kawau gets the free kill because of it. He can open up this wall and get a line of sight. Rek is down. They don't have the kit. They've stolen the Kinotrope at the death. Are able to clutch up. Huge play from Mudroom. Well, Mud is very messy, usually, but in this case, it was quite clean, Nick.
Jesus Christ. This is one of those rounds of Siege. Alchemist very happy with that one. Big smiles. Again, the win conditions seem very simple on paper, but when you start burning all the time away, you start to panic a bit, you rush it, you don't get the 3-to-1 timing down. They didn't even have the option to go for droning because there was no drones left really in the server. So many small things working against SCARZ. But if you want to make it as simple as possible, their entries are failing to get the job done. And that can be for many different reasons. It could be that they're making wrong decisions and wrong communications. It could be the lack of the support players not droning correctly and helping them get inside the building. But they can't keep losing that first member so early in the round and not have a trade happen. It's Chalet, one of the most attacker-favorite maps historically in the game. I know Kinotrope are throwing a bit of a curveball with these operators. And that's when we go back to the conversation of SCARZ called their attack timeout really early when they were defending. And it was necessary because they were losing pretty badly. And they made that comeback. They tied the half 3-3. Excellent. But what now? There's no parachute and they're struggling at adapting against Kinotrope.
You look at the opening 2 rounds, 59 seconds, 40 seconds for the opening kills. Since then, 214, 221, 223, 230, 236, 233. Noticing the pattern here. Kinotrope, of course, winning most of those entry battles, and we might have a 238 again. Indeed, we will, but it's Wreck. SCARZ, they needed that opening kill, like you've been saying. They achieved that through Wreck. They get rid of a Gator. They also keep the Nomad alive, which is important for the air jabs. Wreck still has all 3 available. If he had have lost that battle in the 1v1, that's a big loss of utility for the attack. SCARZ finally get some kind of reprieve. Maybe there is still a parachute.
Just maybe. There is still going to be the question about the Kai claws and the Maestro Evil Eyes later on. I actually love how Akayu is playing the ops blockers on the Maestro because he's putting each and every single one of them in front of the Maestro Evil Eye. You get 3 ops blockers and 3 Evil Eyes, but we're actually seeing that Brava has hacked 2 of the 3 cameras successfully on the bomb side.
That's
so
the adapting.
They have already dealt with it. Yeah. Well, one thing is to pick up the Brava. Another one is actually successfully hacking the cams. It's not as easy as you might think if there's going to be defended by the bomb site in the near area, but they have done that. The Kai Claw still remains on the off as well. So SCARZ might have to pivot and go for a trophy back portion attack. Brute force piano clear like before with the Blackbeard. Because getting this well opened up seems... It's going to be a challenge.
Those Evil Eyes, of course, are dealt with, though. It does mean you can get a little bit more aggressive with that bullet hose and be more active rather than, say, lurking. Wine, Claire, that's as free as it's going to be. But then Fish-like good turnaround reaction on the Blackbeard to get that kill. Unfortunately for SCARZ, they've just lost all the other battles. We only saw the one winning battle from Fish-like. Everyone else losing their isolated gunfights. Does beat out Kawau and almost got the kill onto Gatorada. Gatorada needs to play this smart and run. Run indeed. Can't take this fight. Has Akayu full cover from Solar through the doorway with 50 seconds. He is still on cam. For some reason, comes back to check the doorway. They can still get this res, by the way. Kawau's clawed back into Closet. Surely, oh, they double dropped down. I mean, it is, of course, Kitchen Dining, but they've left him behind in Closet. I thought they could get him up.
I think they were trying to for a second there, but they didn't like their odds when they started getting low here. Got about a 1 point of HP, so 1 bullet would do the job.
We're gonna
so
hide.
Right now, Fish-like is trying to find the information, but they're hiding. Yeah, 1 in trophy, 1 in basement. They're so far apart.
I like the basement play, though, because if Gatorada does get caught, which he will because he got up, there's now only 12 seconds. And Akayu can then push up West Main, so he can close the gap pretty quickly. They have information on Fish-like. He'll be forced into a plant. It'll be a sprint up West Main.
Time to go.
If the timing is right here for Akayu, which it should be, he should be able to cancel. Yeah, he just gets off it. Really well played on the positioning to go basement, then push up West Main while they had camera information. It is now map point for Kinotrope on SCARZ's map pick of Chalet.
And the end of that round, you know, SCARZ, they got themselves into a very winnable position, and then it wasn't meant to be. The primary push with the Blackbeard inside of Piano didn't have a ton of follow-up potential. There's still like bathroom windows, Solarium Repel, and they all lost the individual battles. Operator battle-wise, I mean, it's going to be Yuto on the side of SCARZ, right? Mira, Maestro, Asami, actually. Okay, I mean, Asami does work for every single bomb site, so it's not like, hey, this bomb site's a problem. It's more like this works for everything solution. And the Twitch is obviously going to be about the countering of the util. Yes, there is still Brava, but the Twitch drone can clear so many things and just remove them from action from infinite range, whereas the Brava drone has to get a bit close towards the bomb site. It generates more noise as well. And this is how the battles happen. Library early fight, Agata gets shut down, and then this.
Yeah.
They weren't watching the office angle. They had an air jab on it and just expected that to, I don't know, not be seen or heard.
I mean, Fishlike actually makes the right play there, Nick, because his only chance of winning that is to get off and actually go for a wall bang with 1 second left. There was still like another 3 or 4 seconds left that he was going to be sticking that kit with the rush up West Main. He's just dead every day. So even if it's a 0.1% chance, it's better than 0. But unfortunately for SCARZ, you're now down 3-6 on your map pick of Chalet.
5 seconds left.
Bedroom office again. It becomes available. Kinotrope, though, have not dropped a single round in this second half. It was 3-3, and we were talking about how SCARZ brought it back, and we had a bit of a more even game after the tactical timeout. 3 straight for Kinotrope, though, in this second half, proving that their defense has been too strong, with not a lot of room to adapt for SCARZ. The bans, Twitch and Dazami.
My position's safe.
I truly think the opening pick is just going to be crucial here for SCARZ. It feels a bit like the D+ versus CAG series, where unless D+ got the opening pick or 2, they just didn't have a way to like problem solve the round correctly, so they need to leverage the man advantage. It's the same thing as the previous round. If they had a better foothold in the map with more bodies alive, maybe that push works, but it didn't, because Nomad got injured early, then Black was left alone, and then they gotta make a push that's like just not ideal. So really watching here for that opening duel. Who can start off the round? Often looking towards Nina and Rek to be the playmakers in the server, but Nina has been shut down tremendously in this one. 3 and 6 on the scoreboard. I mean, there's no real outstanding players. Rek is 9 and 6, but it's not like he's stealing the show by any means. Same story goes with Kinotrope. It's been a team effort both ways, but Kinotrope, I will say this, they have been the better team in the server, even though SCARZ might have individually better players. And they're locking them out with util again. Mirror Window, Kai Claw, Maverick is into the play right now. Good counter from SCARZ. Look at the timer. Half the round burned away. Only just now starting to touch those off his walls. And there's a lot of work to be done because that Kai Claw is still alive.
I always look at who are the top 2 rated, well, the top rated player for each respective team. For Kinotrope, it's Akayu. For SCARZ, it's Nina. And you kind of look at then the performance that you're getting in a game like this. And it goes without saying, it's a bit of a discrepancy between the two. Kawau's juggling here at the half wall, just trying to avoid some of this frag grenade pressure. He's played this quite well. Early gas babes at Ego to stop any quick push to come through from the attack of SCARZ. They have not been able to clear him at that position. Still double nitro available for Kinotrope. So if SCARZ do go for a half-wall plant, that is something that they will need to deal with. And it is Gatorada that gets the opening kill onto Nina. No more blowtorch available. Information on the radar for Washoy. But there's only 30 seconds left in this round, Nick. Again, SCARZ leaving it late in this round. And Ayagator to try and maybe tuck in. No, he's just going to have 3 push him from the hallway into Piano. Eclair then pops out, only spots Fishlike on this Blackbeard. He's been their best. He now too will fall, and SCARZ 1 by 1 tumbling out of Chalet. It's a 4 versus 1. Rek does get at least the headshot onto Eclair. 9 seconds, no kit. Needs Kinotrope to throw this one massively, of which they will not. They will not give him any free look. They swing together. Kinotrope will steal the map pick away from SCARZ. In this lower bracket, they strike first blood.
팀에 새로 합류했던 저랑 그 샤일이 일단 성장 팀의 수준에 맞추는 게 제일 급선무였었고, 그때 이제 점차 몇 개월씩 하면서 이제 실력이 어느 정도 괜찮아졌고, 이제 팀과 잘 어우러지면서 로컬 대회 지역 리그는 다 이겼고, 인비테이션을 딱 진출을 결정 지었을 때는 다들 엄청 좋아하긴 했는데 막 그렇게 놀라진 않았어요. 막 우연에 의해서 진출되거나 그런 게 아니었기 때문에 꽤 자신도 있는 상태였고, 그리고 인비테이션을 가서도 이제 플레이오프까지 진출은 했었어가지고 다들 뭐 기뻐는 했는데 막 엄청 놀라진 않았다. 그런 것 같아. 인비테이셔널 그 파리에 도착해가지고 연습실에 가서 스크림을 하는데, 이제 보통 아시아 같은 경우에는 티어 2, 티어 3까지 가면 이제 너무 실력의 차이가 많이 나거나 크게 도움이 되지 않는 경우가 많은데, 일단 티어 2, 티어 3 스크림을 유럽에서 해봤는데 저희보다 잘하거나 너무 다들 잘하는 거예요. 그래가지고 일단 그게 처음에 놀랐고, 그리고 이제 저희 반대 그룹 대회에서 이제 그 팀과도 스크림을 해봤는데, 이게 딱 처음에 느꼈던 건 진짜 그 보이지 않는 벽이 있는 느낌이었고, 그래서 되게 흥미롭고 재밌게 했던 것 같아요. 일단 플레이오프 진출했을 때 그때 이게 저희 손에 달린 문제가 아니었어가지고, 그때 아마 BDS가 CAG를 이기면 저희가 진출을 하는 그런 상황이었던 걸로 기억을 하는데, 그때 다들 모여가지고, 그러니까 호텔 방 그 좁은 데에서 한 5-6명 모여가지고 다들 기도하면서 봤고, 그리고 진출됐을 때 다들 막 소리 지르고 되게 좋아했었고, 그리고 이제 플레이오프 당일날 이게 무대 메인 스테이지가 되게 멋지게 잘 꾸며져 있었거든요. 그래가지고 되게 설레는 마음으로 입장했던 것 같아요. 일단 스크림을 했을 때는 막 되게 갑갑하고 이길 수 있나 이런 생각이 들었는데, 이게 저만 그런 걸 수도 있는데 대회만 들어가면 제가 뭐 하려던 것만 계속 잘하면 뭐 이길 수 있다 뭐 이런 느낌이 있었어가지고 생각보다 긴장 없이 대회 때는 잘 했던 것 같아요. 한국에 남아있는 막 친구나 가족이 다 지켜보고 있다고 열심히 하라고 막 응원해줬던 기억은 있는데, 제가 애초에 제가 지금 리그가 어떻게 되고 있는지 설명을 잘 안 해줘가지고 아마 크게 막 엄청 뭐라 해야 될까, 제가 잘 설명을 안 해준 것도 있고 해가지고 막 부모님이나 친한 친구 아니면은 그렇게 막 메시지가 오거나 그러진 않았던 것 같아요. 다들 엄청 고맙다고 생각하고 있고, 뭐 솔직히 부모님, 특히 부모님 같은 경우에는 게임 막 잘 모를 텐데 저 나온다고 계속 막 집에서 TV로 봐주고 하는 게 저한테 위안이 됐던 것 같아요. 일단 그룹 스테이지에서 플레이오프 간 거로도 되게 다들 기뻐했고, 근데 이제 플레이오프 스테이지에서 첫 상대였던 메이커스였는데 그때 좀 이제 실력 차이를 많이 느끼게 됐고, 이제 그걸 계기로 한국에 돌아와서 진짜 그 경험을 토대로 이것저것 연구하고 다들 더 열정이 많아진 모습이었어요. 제일 아쉬웠던 경기는 그룹 스테이지 때 그 다크제로 상대로 먼저 5점인가 따냈었나 그랬는데 이제 8대6으로 아마 졌었던 걸로 기억하는데 그 경기가 제일 아쉬웠고요. 특히 제가 조금 활약했던 경기이기도 해서 더 그렇게 생각이 드는 건지도 모르겠는데, 그거랑 같은 그룹 스테이지 경기 때 G2랑 했었는데 제가 클러치 한번 못한 것도 아쉽다고 생각하고 있고, 좋았던 기억은 아마 클럽하우스에서 7대4로 페이지를 한번 이겼었던 것 같아요. 그게 좋았던 기억.
Well, that one looked like Kinotrope just kicked their shoes off, played some lawn bowls. Looked pretty easy, didn't it, Michael?
Yeah. They might send SCARZ back to the retirement home as well for a bit more balls after this one.
I think they might.
Because they just couldn't keep pace. That second half, again, we talked about the tempo and the pacing in that first half and how it was a little bit up and down, while it was consistently super quick in that second half, where Kinotrope aggressed, found an early advantage, often within the first like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, really early on in the piece, and SCARZ unfortunately not tapping into a plan B.
Setting the pace, I think, is the best way that I would put it. Kinotrope just seemed to have a real firm grip on that game. And that was what we were saying at the end of that first half was, well, if SCARZ don't really push this to a decent series, if they don't win the series, we are going to end up asking the question, was Chalet the best pick for them?
Yeah, it's hard to know. SCARZ found the most success on their defensive half when they were pushing the pace and they were trying to find those early engagements, and Kinotrope did the exact same thing on their defensive half, and it worked out really well for them. I think one of the biggest differences was probably their op selection on their defensive half as well. We saw SCARZ pick things like Denari and Legion, stuff that was more for roaming and denying entry, whereas we saw
a lot of anchor ops
on the opposite side, and actually still trying to find those opening engagements so that when it did come to the end of the round and SCARZ had to make that final push, there was a lot more utility still to deal with.
Yeah, the Maestro definitely made me kind of second guess myself whether I saw it correctly or not, because it's actually like the 5th least played operator in the entire map pool across all of the leagues right now. It's like, it's not even close. It's so operator pool. I'm really going crazy tonight. But moving across to Clubhouse now, something a lot more structured, something that typically I think, actually, funnily enough, has never really been well representative in Japan because of the fact that they are so aggressive, guys. But this map does open up a lot of avenues. It does open up a lot of discussion points. From what we took from Chalet, how much are we going to see those early engagements take an impact on these mini games that we talk about?
Yeah, that's the thing. It was really quite costly for SCARZ on that first map, but when you consider Clubhouse, if it plays out in the expected fashion, it's really difficult, especially for the defense, to fight early fight or to force early fights. It is possible, but it's really high risk if you want to be fighting, the likes of Secret, if you want to play strip side, if you want to be peeking from top floor, spawn peaks, etc., etc. It's possible, and we may see it from Kinotrope, but I think SCARZ should do a better job in being able to shut that down. But if they don't, I would say that it gets even more difficult when you think about Clubhouse. If you have an early disadvantage, especially on attack, fighting back is even harder than Chalet. So it's critical for SCARZ, especially tidy up the early round and try to go through that checklist.
Yeah, I think God's hit the nail on the head there on Clubhouse in particular. Basically, every attacking operator is so vital to a round win. So if you lose one early, it becomes really difficult.
All right, well, let's lock in at the moment. Kinotrope really showing why they have been the dark horse of the Japanese region for the last 3 or 4 years. You never know what to expect when you get in the server with them, whereas SCARZ, they're limping in this series. They need to bite back as we head to Clubhouse.
Thank you, boys. As we head to Clubhouse, it's do or die now for SCARZ. They must win the final 2 maps of this lower bracket semi-final. Kinotrope are now 1 away from what would be a repeat match, Nick, against the Plus in the lower bracket final. Don't forget they played each other in that upper bracket semi-final, which Kinotrope got 7-0'd and 7-3, and the only map they did win, which was actually, funnily enough, this map of Clubhouse, 8-7. So clearly they would have to do a bit of a better job, but right now they just want to get this job done and then worry about Sunday if they can play on the Sunday.
Slow step by step, game by game. No big deal here. I have to back Kinotrope though. I thought when we saw the map video, it was going to come down to Chalet in my mind. I think Kinotrope are going to be exceptionally good here in Clubhouse. Their favorites are placed on much more. And I think it was between Lair and Bank actually, the very final map. Was a bit surprised to see them opt for Lair to the side. It feels a bit more neutral than Bank to me. I also think that would favor Kinotrope actually in current history. But let's see if they can get it done here. They've banned away the Kite and the Asami, the Grim and the Thermite, so a little bit of wall denying, a little bit of wall breaching. SCARZ starting on defense. They too will run some utility here. Both the Bandit, we're gonna start tricking upstairs, I imagine, and of course the mirror window by the bomb side. They're playing a very layered defense. Start top floor, peel back the layers, in by the side itself. It's all about timing here for SCARZ. If they can peel back at the right timings and not lose anybody early, they need these 5 defenders alive with the last 60 seconds of the round to go.
I mean, SCARZ obviously had some opportunities on Chalet, but I think for the most part they were largely outclassed by Kinotrope. I think Kinotrope definitely were far better on Chalet, but it's a different map, different beast, and SCARZ at least begin on the defense. Gonna ride it in through Garage early, but it is just a 5-stack down below for SCARZ. So Kinotrope's not gonna find anyone on this first floor, on this roam. It does mean the Boogie Auto breach of Kowal is going to get some work over towards Kitchen and the hallway. But it does mean we probably won't get the most action-packed next minute and a half.
I actually quite like this. You know, I've also been a big fan of playing Clubhouse and watching it, casting it, etc. I love how many small details you see. You know, you can attack this base and bomb site in like 20 different ways with 7 different plant spots. And do you backstep blue? Do you not? Do you take dirt control? Do you not? Do you work the moto hatcher? Do you not? So many small things. And every team, every region does it slightly differently. Even Rek's position right now, having pre-placed bandit batteries on the reinforced wall with a gap in the middle, deployable shield behind it. Even that is something that we don't see very often, the shield part of that is. But there's nothing to protect it. So if they get down that main staircase, Kale can quickly clear it. They shattered the mirror window already, a second time for good measure, I guess, and they also cleared the bandit battery with that. They want to try and use the Selma charges, but the bandit tricking is good. But there's more lances than bandit batteries, and now they can beat the wall open and start exposing Rek's location.
Yeah, really decent job here at the church triple wall. Get that mirror sorted, open up this space, but I like the second deployable shield. Rek can just play behind this, fall back, keeps the same sort of position. Rek actually then finds the kill because of it. I do wonder if actually that's something Kinotrope were aware of. As this is a bit of a stack down bot main that has just not worked out. Pistol works, and well, it's only going to be a clear left. To me, this is the kind of round that SCARZ's defense has just clearly prevailed. Kinotrope have just gone at a point where they thought they could get a couple of bodies, and it goes the other way. They've lost all of their fights. Claire sits, unfortunately, above. No Candelas remaining. Still needs to go and collect this diffuser as well, bot main, and only has 25 seconds in the 1 versus 3. Still a Nitrocell for UKIS, but that deployable shield ended up actually having a big say in this round. Overall to Claire now. Very unlikely to win it, and indeed Nina swings over towards the hallway and puts that one to bed. Opening round goes the way of SCARZ.
Very well done. Gotta say, Rek did a great job at holding on, you know, stalling for as much util as possible, going for the extra bandit trade, getting the pre-fires from the deployable shield. And I don't think Kinotrope actually knew about the shield location because it was the Ace dying first, peeking into it, not the Kali going for the clear with the gadget. That came after the fact. So a small misstep perhaps. I love that SCARZ opted to trust in the bunkering of that bomb site because it did have Rek start with the bandit top floor, looking to maybe penetrate the CCTV external walls or something like that, and you can easily get cut off from the staircase and therefore not make it back to the bomb site. So instead of trying to get it all, just say we just care about the site, we do not care about the roam. Kinotrope, try and go for execute. So first round for SCARZ, they need that bit of momentum. Again, that 3-7 score on Chalet. Every round victory here is a big deal for SCARZ, because they barely got any on that previous map.
It was interesting, Nick, actually, the way you were kind of speaking about Clubhouse just before is my mindset as to how I used to feel about Oregon before, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately from my perspective, got removed from the pool, because I liked Oregon in the way that it really separated teams. It was similar to Clubhouse in the sense that, yes, everyone knew how to play it and it was well figured out. But the really, really, really good teams, they could just do little micro differences that would set them apart. And you could see even 7-0s and 7-1s because one team was just so much better than the other. Rek, by the way, just gets a freebie over towards the secret window onto Gator. Well, this is the perfect start for SCARZ on the defensive club.
Jake, you said that you used to love watching Oregon. Has the Synox to Pro path actually changed that now after having some losses on it, or what happened there?
No, now I do not want Oregon back. It can stay out of the pool.
Okay. I'm curious, how do you feel about Theme Park? Because I know a lot of the EML talent, we had this discussion at a LAN previously. We all feel like Theme Park could go back into the map pool because it was like unfairly taken out of the pool.
It came in and then it just went back out. I don't think it really got given enough space and enough breathing room. I would be fine to bring it back in and let it kind of stay for a bit. But the problem is, it's like, what do you get rid of? And if I'm going to be honest, the newest map in the pool, I'm not a big fan of. And I've made that pretty commonly known.
You don't like Fortress?
No, I don't like it.
Really?
I think it's
wow. I mean, I used to have respect for you, but that just got lost right there. I think Fortress is actually one of the greatest maps of all time.
I think it's really, really slow and very boring.
You'd rather have Cafe in.
No, I didn't say I'd rather have. Hang on. I didn't say I'd rather. There's probably a couple. Hang on. Let's rephrase this a little bit.
That's
Fish like
really back in.
gets rid of Akayu. Oh, this is a very nothing kind of start from Kinotrope on their attack, and honestly, this just gives the life for SCARZ that they desperately need. Remember, this is not their map pick, and it is a map Kinotrope know how to play well. You were hyping Kinotrope up here for Clubhouse. What's going on, Nick?
Cast a curse. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, it's my bad, to be honest. The thing is, this is not the usual Kinotrope. These are some lackluster attacks, losing opening duels, not getting to step 1, not getting breaching, not getting anything in the server really for this one. Doesn't even get the kill to office either. Yukits is good to shut down Eclair. Garawada's baiting us at the building. Kawa's doing the exact goddamn thing. And this is one of those classic tactical timeouts for Kinotrope. Well, they're not really doing a whole lot in the server because it's 2v5, but they are discussing amongst themselves about what to do, almost taking like a talk without the coach. And they need it, because these first 2 rounds, that is not going to get them a victory here in Clubhouse. They got to change things up massively in the third.
I mean, would you just actually take a real timeout after this? 2 rounds in, it's not impossible.
You got to play one more.
I mean, we saw
you gotta see the third operator ban.
Yeah, but we did see SCARZ do it after 2 rounds on Chalet.
And how did that go?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. It didn't go well. It went actually very well immediately after. They won 2 rounds straight, and then that was pretty much it. So, I mean, yeah, it's a tricky one. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think we are seeing more and more teams, for the most part, actually now double up the halftime role swap with the tactical timeout and almost create this like inadvertent extended tactical timeout. They saw that a little bit back in the previous 2 play days. Gym bedroom, that was, I don't think we ever really saw the site. Disappointing start for Kinotrope. Cash and CCTV, they're going to need to lock in. We might need to lock in a little bit here as well, and they can start to figure out how this is going so poorly. As you said, obviously not doing well in these early initial engagements. Rec has found 2 very... I don't know. The first one, I'm not too sure, but definitely the second one is just... It's a spray through the secret window, easy headshot. I mean, what are you meant to do if you're AU Gator? Probably just be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah. Just more careful. I mean, it's one of those silly moments where you shouldn't die like that, but at the same time, it's not really your fault you get window banged like that. Sometimes it just happens, right? You get more unlucky than your opponent if you win the server. Same with like random door sprays and window sprays across the map. It just occurs. I think this is going to be the big question mark though, like tertiary bomb site, CCTV, it's a very weak one statistically. And you do have, you know, the power-ups available, the Munty, the Capital, neither of which are being hovered right now by Kinotrope. And just like blanket here, they're not going to go for a Garrett attack. They can't. You cannot have this lineup, the Ying, the Striker, Dokkaebi, Solid Snake, and Lion, and attack Catwalk. That is literally a death sentence. So they have to go for a master bedroom sweep, you know, get the roam clear, do the very tiny bit of hard destruction in secondary can openers, and go for construction. Because they literally do not have the tools or anything else.
I got a little fun fact for you, Nick. I do like my fun facts, but we are on a streak right now. We are on a streak of 2-1s because we concluded last week on the Wednesday with APAC North, and that was 2-1, 2-1. Then we started this week with O's into Asia into today, and they've all been 2-1s. We have not had any 2-0s since Tuesday last week. All these games have been ultra competitive, and all 3 maps have been needed. SCARZ starting 2-0 here leads me to believe that streak may just continue.
You know, I have a fun fact for your fun fact.
Okay.
I made the exact same point about an hour and a half ago in the Discord server that we have together.
Okay,
so
well, I don't read the Discord when I'm in the studio. But you know what that means? Great minds think alike.
That's what I would say if I was you as well, to save myself.
Yes.
And you have done so very gracefully, I gotta tell you that. And another fun fact to back it up, EML obviously has concluded their stage finals. It's already occurred. They had 25 out of 27 possible maps played, meaning almost every single game that they had 2 was a 3-mapper.
Something in the water this stage, apparently.
Very competitive siege.
Must be
I mean, to be fair, this is the most competitive APL I think I've ever seen for all the sub-regions. It's been very impressive to watch, and no one's guaranteed a spot for LAN except for Chiefs, so there's that.
Are they aware that Fishlike is actually in this corner? I mean, it's not the most uncommon position to play, but the way they're positioning, here comes the drone of Eclair, now they know.
Yikes. It's gonna skedaddle, play between the breach and the door. Can't risk going far away, I suppose. That's the fight that must be. There's a headshot right there. Takes down a Quail. That's easy peasy. Now plays green box. Jump out the window. Doesn't commit to it. Doesn't find a second. But looking like a rough round here for Kinotrope once again.
Yeah, Scatterata falls. Wreck also does go down. 2v3 is not impossible. Quail does find himself very low on health. The Gayu does still have 1 Candela available. Never mind, he too will go down, and it's looking like 3-0 to SCARZ. But you said maybe wait one more round, Nick, before that tactical timeout.
Yep.
I think they might have to go for an extended one. We're into the... They're going to get the bans, probably then I'd say take the tack as well, talk things over.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly in this region, as we know with Clubhouse, very defender-sided. We see it all the time in APL. We always talk about these 4-2 splits. You still need to get 2. You're running out of rounds.
Yeah.
So far, round by round, it's been very dominant from SCARZ. These have just been nothing sort of rounds. 3 alive, into 5 alive, into 3 alive, with all the opening kills to SCARZ. At no point have I ever sat here and sort of been like, oh, hang on. Because Kinotrope have never really been in that sort of position.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 rounds that Kinotrope lost, it was actually on the timer, like in that round. 1 last attacker alive, holding a passive angle, not even going for an attempt of a clutch in the round, and it's rough to watch, honestly. You'd think that they're talking about things and getting better and better, but if anything, they're getting worse because SCARZ are playing really good Siege right now. Do we see attack time out from Kinotrope? Because like you said, I think it's about time. We've seen the final operators. They gotta get some rounds on the board. 2-4 right now should be the target for Kinotrope. And if they don't get there, they can be as good as they want on defense, but you're not gonna go flawless here in Clubhouse. And they actually, to big surprise, will not call for the tack just yet. Perhaps they deem 1 more is required, and then we will go for it.
Maybe they want to test out not having to deal with the mirror window, but they've also now lost the Ying anyway. So, I mean, obviously, very different operators that are going to provide very different things. The executability is lost for Kinotrope. They've been playing that Ying. It has been used in 3 rounds, but so is the mirror. The mirror has been played in every single bomb site from SCARZ defensively. So they have been leaning into that. But also, you kind of think about how these rounds are being won, Nick, with these early fights from Rek and Fishlike, etc. That's not off the back of these mirror windows. They're not really getting the mirror windows to be successful.
Attackers are moving out to locate.
Well, I love the Monty here, but I love the shield operator in general, and maybe that is like one of the few weaknesses from Kinotrope. They do not have a shield player that can just on any round, any moment, to just whip it out when nothing is working. Almost every single team in every single region will opt for the Monty in this kind of 0-3 position because it gets you stability, information. You can always go for plans, you can go for roam clears, and it's a very safe and somewhat easy operator to play, the Monty that is. Unlike the Blitz and the Blabby that are much more exposed in fighting and C4s and such, they don't have that ability. So they're gonna go into this basement attack. They got verticality, they got utility clear, etc. But in my mind, I don't see how they're gonna get into a planned position.
They're just not a Monty team, though.
Oh, hold up, Alligator. Look at this. The gap find, though. This could be the way.
Oh, yeah, but I wonder if that drone maybe... the drone went super deep and Rek didn't get baited by it. I don't know if you saw that drone that went all the way close by to where Rek was, and instead of actually going for the shot on the drone, he actually swings the whole way first. So Alligator, that's a big loss. You're the Buck. You're not supposed to be there at this point in the round. You're supposed to be opening up the floorboards. Now, I know you've got the Ram that can do that, but you're still now down a player. It's still yet another opening kill for SCARZ. Huge question marks here on Kinotrope. They picked this map. I'm starting to think we maybe made an error.
It sure might look like it at this point. I will say that play right there is a win or lose. Either you get a kill or 2 with Alligator, and now your team can win it from there on out, or you lose Alligator early like they did, and it's on paper, it's like 80% in favor of SCARZ, maybe 85%. It gets worse. Shot gets on to a Claire. This attack has no teeth. There's no attack.
This half
There's
has no
frontal
teeth.
Push. This half has no teeth at all. And even with the operator band of the mirror, what's that gonna do? There's still a deployable shield on that triple wall. So it's not like it's acting as a mirror window effectively, and it's not being cleared. They're playing Twitch, they're playing Striker, they're playing Hibana. They have nothing to do in this round. C4 Rosal, Cower strikes back. That's 1 kill, but that's not enough. They need much more than this.
I mean, the operators they brought in this round, Nick, they probably didn't even need to ban the mirror because they could have dealt with the operators they brought anyway. In fact, you go all the way back to that opening round, they dealt with the mirror on that triple wall. I mean, that's not the only reason why they're losing, but still, They just need this next kill, and maybe they could steal this round, and they get it. Akayu slipping towards Arsenal is successful, and he can go for the plant. Baits it out first. There is no utility, by the way. SCARZ actually have nothing to stop this from going down other than pushing up and taking the gunfights. Kawau beats out one. Over towards blue, they have nothing coming in except for Nina, who just swings at the doorway haphazardly. That is a very soft swing, but then Washoi down the hallway. God. The plant will go down. It will be a 1 versus 1 post plant between Akayu and Washoi, looking for their first round, and it's a must win for Akayu. He needs to clutch this up in the 1 versus 1, but Washoi seems to have lost him, but now starts to know he's gone over towards blue. Now Washoi has the knowledge, and he also has the shield, Nick. Oh, no.
I don't like this.
Oh, he gets off it. Oh, he hits the shot.
Oh, no.
Washoi. The shield meant that Akayu had to push in rather than play the longer angle from blue.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I mean, when you're in that plant position, your teammate dies, you have about 4 or 5 seconds maybe where it's a 1v1 and you're resetting the round. The defender doesn't know that you're planting or not or where you are, and you also don't know where he is, but you can't hear him, so he's not pushing you. You need to have the foresight in that moment to think, how am I going to play this 1v1? So you ask in the team chat, right? You ask, hey, any cams you can watch? And they say, no, we don't see anything. Okay, I'm on my own. How do I want to play this post plant? You cannot go into blue for 2 very simple reasons. They didn't know if there's any traps in there because no attacker took the full control over it because Hawa died before it fully entered. There's a Razor Boom that went off, that gives you their location. A Goyo Fire popped, which forced them to rotate, and there was a deployable shield in which you planted in front of. So why go blue when the shield works against you and the traps could be there? You gotta go back the way you came, right? Back towards the chassis, back beneath that kitchen hatch. Now you control the hallway, you can see the diffuser, the shield isn't a problem, you got space to work with. So maybe a high-risk play, maybe he was thinking, hey, if I do the thing that I'm not supposed to be doing, it'll catch them by surprise. But not the case. 0 for the Kinotrope, no timeout needed either. I guess they really are just hoping and praying and thinking, believing that their defense can win them this map. Because if not for that, I don't know what the plan is right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is rough for Kinotrope. Really good, though, from SCARZ. I mean, you've got to give them the credit because they honestly looked rather weak on Chalet. And coming into Clubhouse, knowing that finals is on the line, they've just poured in 4 straight rounds, 4 straight opening kills, wrecked 3 of those 4. Hasn't really done anything wrong. Washoi 5-1, Nina 4-1. So, like, it's one of those sort of halves where for SCARZ, everything that could go right has gone right. You're getting the opening kills, you're winning the clutches. That was the one and only clutch we've had so far. All your top players are playing well. This is a performance for SCARZ where they've just done nothing wrong. For Kinotrope, that's hard to overcome. Sometimes you just have to tip your hat to your opponent.
Yeah, it is true. But while SCARZ are playing well, again, this is Kinotrope's map. It fits their character, their style, and if they just played the same way as on Chalet, which they've just shown us that they're very capable of, they would get a different result. But their problem-solving skills have not kicked in just yet. Wrecked low on health, a short low on health. This is the best state of an early round so far for Kinotrope, but they have not found a kill. They've cleared the shield, they cleared some of those Denari lasers, they're on a good pace. But we're still waiting for that opening pick. We're waiting for a way in. Eclair finds it. Wreck goes down. Another one follows. Washoi as well. This is going to be their moment.
Let's see if they can capitalize. They have to. Still 2 rounds. Still 2 chances to get to that magic number. He gets rid of the drone of the window cell, and the other one pushing in from construction and may go for a potential jump out. No, there's another one. Just got rid of 3 drones in about 3 seconds. Still have the clash available in sight. Damage onto Yukiza and Fishlike from the Jugger payload of Gatorada. Nina one up close. Lovely headshot onto Gatorada. And now goes for more. No. At least just perceived pressure by opening up that barricade. That's now something Kinotrope have to be mindful of, that they don't have that control of CCTV.
Such an important fire rate in the main staircase. If Eclair finds one, the crossfire will be dislodged. But if he doesn't find it, he can't make the play. Someone else has to step up instead. Kawa on the backstep finds one.
Yuki is in Logi, by the way, has the cross, although I think watching more so towards the hatch, hence why Eclair was able to stay alive. Fishlike just got overwhelmed. Finally, Kinotrope are on the board. That's much better. And that goes to the strength, Nick, of what you were talking about in terms of the problem solving. We see it on display in that round from Kinotrope.
It's there. If you dig really, really deep, you can find it. It is a tool that they have at their disposal. 1-4, I said it, 2-4 is the benchmark here for Kinotrope. They'll have plenty of wiggle room on side swap, and they're in a perfect position to get it. CCTV defense, statistically a weaker bomb side. Akayu hovering at Blackbeard. Hold your horses. Attacker repick is still available. That could change. But if they actually bring out a shield on the very final round and a half, that could very well be the difference maker. They've yet to play it so far in this entire series.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Interesting, actually, that it's Akayu on the Blackbeard. I was looking before in terms of the most played operators for both Akayu and Kawau, the shield players. Akayu typically plays the Blitz, and Kawau usually plays the Blackbeard. Of course, doesn't mean that Akayu can't play the Blackbeard.
Almost there.
It looks like he will. No! Oh, I just said, as soon as I said...
You're so lying. Why'd you say it? No. Why?
Well,
Jake.
the Zofia could be interesting as well. It has, of course, received a small buff from the other night. Can be used as like a lounge, can also be used to clear rafters. It does have use. But the Blackbeard, I think, would have been better overall when you've got double catch. The Blackbeard shield to push up rafters if you want to go that way. What's Washoy cooking here as well over towards Meat Locker?
Disruption, that's what he's looking for. An impact run out and freeze the door. The thing is, no one spawned. I mean, there's still IQ and Junkyard spawn. Could, of course, go there maybe, but right now, no one's in the area. Washoy actually called by Dokkaebi, tanks the call as well, so he knows that there's going to be a red ping in his area, since that's required for the ping to go through. Akayu is just breakdancing by the main breach, and that's a good bit of pressure applied already. No bandit to speak of for this round. Sophia also spent all the self-destruction, so maybe they went downstairs already, or spent them on the bomb site for the deployable, also the bulletproof camera maybe, and ADS clear, it's possible. But it's a very kind of three-piece attack from Kinotrope. A player locking in Washoy in kitchen, playing inside a bathroom, waiting for the fallback, that could be the opening kill. But Washoy could easily just pop the hatch and drop down to the basement and escape completely for free. There's no drones to speak of, so as long as Kinotrope are patient, unless he just has the perfect read. Never mind, he's out of there for free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's out of there for free. I wonder if Kinotrope can maybe get into a cut-off position. Doesn't matter. Akayu's dead. The Zofia pick doesn't work. In the end, the Blackbeard, I think, would have had a bit better impact in the round from Kinotrope. In hindsight, it's easy to say. As Eclair also falls, it's not looking good for Kinotrope. But it's looking good for us in terms of getting to Lair for another third map in what's been arguably the most competitive APL stage that we've had for quite some time. As Washoy can now sit secret. He's the extra player. They've got the numbers on site. He can now do whatever he wants.
Yeah. He is that second win condition. If they start planting upstairs, somehow he can deny it vertically. He's also watching the flank on red staircase. Kawa finds one, but they have no clue that Washoy is here. He should be good for at least one kill. Also, he cannot be called by Dokkaebi again because he tanked the call earlier. So there will be no second attempt. We see Dokkaebi on the rappel, Kawa on Garage. They're looking to go likely for what looks like a default attack, but they get shut down before that. Fish-like on Garage Raptors is still there and finds one. That should just be the round.
Should is the key word. We'll see if that does eventuate. 20 seconds doesn't leave them a lot of wiggle room, but Ayagata got one. Instant trade. Fish-like still holding rafters. The R3 low health players, but Gutterrider cannot get into the breach. Fish-like the whole time able to set that rafters possession. It's a 5-1 defensive half for SCARZ and leaves Kinotrope in a very difficult position.
Just a face in a crowd waiting to be seen. Big dreams set in motion. I wanna go where no one's ever been. I would climb the highest mountain. I would dive the deepest sea, just so I could make you feel what I feel. Aiming for
So a little bit of a vibe check, Nick, at 5-1. Not a lot to say from the boys on the couch. They didn't feel like they could add much more value. And to be honest, I don't know how much value there really is to be had when it's seemingly looking like that third map will be required. We'll have to wait and see. 5-1 halves are not impossible. Really is quite determined by in the opening 2-3 rounds. Can Kinotrope get it on a bit of a roll, you know, go through the bomb sites? And if they can go through the 3 bomb sites, then suddenly it's like, oh, it's now 4-5 and the game's quite equal. So I'm not giving up on this just yet. I think there's still a decent hope for Kinotrope on their own defensive side. Actually, funnily enough, Guz just came in before and said, I don't think SCARZ are going to be able to attack all that well themselves. And I kind of agree with that.
I mean, that is the assumption. And also on the flip side, the assumption is that Kinotrope's defense will be rock solid. I mean, you're holding your attack timeout the entire attack and half just to hope that you get 1, maybe 2 rounds. That means you truly believe on defense, right? And you can save it for the worst case scenario. And looking at how we played on Chalet and how Kinotrope were good at putting up like a maze of problems for SCARZ to solve, they can do the same here in Clubhouse. It's just that the playstyle that Kinotrope showed us on Chalet is very atypical. They're playing a very different style on that map. Playing heavy util, turtling, plant denial on Clubhouse is not atypical. That's quite common. And what I mean by this is that SCARZ will be much more well-versed and well-practiced against this kind of setup. Like, the only thing that's different here is that they're playing Maestro, but the player positions, the reinforcements, the bomb set setup, that's going to be super familiar. So I am curious in Kinotrope and what they're going to be doing here. What can the small things be? Like hiding main door, I mean, that's new. That could be a way to get a kill, and a kill is all they need to start off with the advantage.
Gatorada hasn't actually killed yet in this particular map, still sitting at 0. I find this one interesting, though, because when you're 5-1 down and you want to play this sort of style, like main door hold, you want to obviously play around bar, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but you also have 0 room for error. Like, you cannot allow SCARZ to get any rounds now because you are 5-1 down. If this were like the first half 0-0, I would say, yeah, this is a nice, aggressive way to play Clubhouse defense, and you do have then that room to maybe lose a round or 2 by trying to play in this fashion. But Kinotrope have to be inch perfect. They cannot allow SCARZ to sort of break down this hold towards bar. There are no castle barricades. Sometimes when you see this sort of hold, you'll bring the castle, and it means that SCARZ can actually flood into some of these positions. And by the way, that's exactly what's just happened there. Nina just pushes bar and finds 2 kills. Very lucky that Guao actually went back to even re-peek that onto Rek. Otherwise, it was about to be a 2 versus 5. They're lucky that it's even only 2 versus 4. And indeed, because SCARZ have just completely obliterated this first floor hold.
Yeah. They got Dokkaebi and Blightbeard plus the Solid Snake for information gathering. They got a stolen bomb site, needed good for 3 kills. And he got us flanking and lounge. He's so far away from the bomb site. I mean, this is going to be a locked in. Holding your tech timer for what exactly? To go down 1-6? To just say goodbye to Clubhouse? This round, unwinnable. And this map seems to follow that same trend.
And like, the tactical timeouts are not this, like, magic powder that you just sprinkle on the team and say, okay, now go win. But we have seen, I've seen many infographics before. Oh, hang on. I'll make my point in a second, because this suddenly gets a little intriguing. The only downside for this, to hold our horses, is there is a Blackbeard. There is shield available, and in a 1v2 that makes it far more difficult for Gator when the time is quickly expiring and they are playing together. Double stack towards blue. Okay, they convert, they hold on. Really good reposition just when things got a little bit precarious, and it is now 6-1. Lair is calling. But I have seen plenty of infographics, Nick, where there's the like pre-tac timeout and the post-tac timeout, and you do see from the best coaches in the world there is a difference upwards of 20% in terms of win rate. And so you do want to see those tactical timeouts used, and it's disappointing for Kinotrope. They held on to it for so long.
Yeah, they're free. They don't cost you anything. You get 1 per map in a series, and you can either use them or you cannot use them. And the thing is, when you're failing to problem solve and find the solutions in the server, and you don't have the right approach to adapting, that's where you take it commonly. It's that, or it's because like you're tilting and there's like a bit of a mental boom between the players themselves, maybe arguing, fighting, or having a different view on the game. Not taking it doesn't give you any favors. And I'm sure there's going to be the counter argument that when Kinotrope calls for their tactical timeout, SCARZ will have that same privilege because it works for both teams. If Kinotrope call it, both teams can talk to the coach. But when you're the losing team, you have much more to gain than the team that is winning. Because if we continue on that trend, you will just lose and the enemy will just win. At least now with the timeout, you can change that conversation. APL has been very competitive. It's been the classic, hard to predict. But this has been one of the biggest surprises to me in a while. Is that I genuinely thought, when I saw Clubhouse, even picked by Kinotrope, that was going to be either a super close game because they're super competitive on it, or an outright win for Kinotrope. And it's the complete opposite. They're down 1-6, and I have little to no faith, because now we got the Monty and the Blackbeard in the mix, and I think the Monty in particular can do a lot of damage this round, just getting all that information.
It's a little bit like the first series of the day with the 7-0 in between two maps that actually there was a bit going on. For CAG by Varel versus D+, it was that 7-0 Night Haven Labs. Well, this is not a 7-0. It almost has a similar feeling in terms of the non-competitiveness.
Yeah.
Like, at no point has this ever really felt like, oh, we should get excited. It's 100% kill, opening kill conversion. So only one opening pick as well for Kinotrope. So all of the opening rounds, it's just SCARZ, SCARZ, SCARZ. They've had all of the multi-kills, which is 3. They've had the one and only clutch. And there's just not... And a lot of this has been early in rounds as well, at a 1.5 to 2 minute mark. As we go to Gym Bedroom, everything does point to SCARZ winning this 7-1, even on their attack. And I like the fact they're bringing shields. We didn't see Kinotrope bring shields in the first half. We're seeing SCARZ bring 2. They go Monty and Blackbeard.
Here we see the power of the Monty especially. Just walk on in, don't even got a drone, take out all rafters, take the default camp, can jump through the CCTV window, start applying pressure on Swall's cash. And there's only really one operator that can kind of do something about the Blackbeard, or the Monty rather. It's gonna be the Echo Stun, with a gun behind him, timing it, 3-2-1, guard break, and go for a pre-fire. That, and they got some C4s. But as you said, there are 2 shields, not just 1. On the upside, Kinotrope have done a great job of stalling out for time right now, 60 seconds. Don't have any Goyos, unfortunately, but they got everything else. Mirror windows are alive and intact. And look at Akayo's position. This is the strat that James mentioned yesterday. They're playing in the corner of the gym bomb site, with the wall where there usually is a rotation completely reinforced off. This makes him safe from the connector door, and he can solo lock down the gym entry path. This is the Kinotrope pocket strat that I've only seen from them in recent history.
Gatorada gets the early kill onto Nina. They do lose Gatorada. He can go watch those Yokais. Good information. Akayu really can't be cleared from this position unless it's at the window, or they lose bedroom control. Nitrocell thrown from Eclair, hoping to force out the Logi drop, but it's not going to be. As they've lost Wreck, it is going to be largely down to Wishoy in terms of the gun, as it's just then going to be the shield play. A lot of utility thrown over towards top main stairs. Nitro connected from a Gator. It seems as if it will not be a 7-1. Gym Bedroom successfully defended by Kinotrope. It was Akayu as well who got the last 2 kills from that gym position. That corner angle, not only able to watch that window, but it can also watch Jacuzzi, and in this case, watch towards Logistic.
Now, there's a very simple counter to that corner spot, which is you go downstairs, you open the hatch and pool table, and boom, you see a head and you get a free kill. And then you can make a counter, right? You reinforce the gym hatch and you can enable that spot again. There's gonna be a couple of small things there, maybe long-term, if Kinotrope keep bringing out this kind of pocket strat. And the more they show it, the more teams see it, and the more teams will be prepared for it. SCARZ, clearly not so in that one. 2-6 though, 4 rounds straight needed here for Kinotrope to go into overtime. I will say, if they get to OT, I will favor them because they will steal all the momentum and confidence in the world. But the issue isn't, what happens in OT. The issue is how do we get there? So nice and steady. They gotta go full bombs out rotation. Now it's CCTV's turn. I do know that Kinotrope can play a bar. They tried that previously. It is one of those like 50-50 bomb sides. You can win it very easily. You can lose it very easily. Typically, you just end up losing it. But if they really want to try and get fancy with it, that could be in the back pocket. The exterior wall is open, is it not? Am I trolling? Is the exterior CC wall right-hand side? I think it's open.
Oh, our observer's on the move.
We'll see. Yeah,
yes, the right-hand side is open.
That's that is a choice for sure. I mean, if they're predicting the Thermite is the only heartbreaker, it's kind of genius because you can now threaten like impact grenades, C4s, watch the angle with a DMR or Eclair from Tower Rafters. But they did double down here.
I mean, in some ways though, if you're SCARZ, you would still want to open up the reinforced wall, which means that by leaving one side open, doesn't it make it easier actually to disrupt that opening?
Yeah, it does. Like that, in theory, it does, right? If you only have the Thermite, you gotta get close to the wall, pop it. But then the issue is Nina's playing Ace, and they can just chalk a Selma charge, and boom, nothing matters. So there is that question mark. A Caillou guy's second now on the Maestro. That's not the first time that's happened, sadly. Nina will get the kill and have the perfect gadget for the external wall as well right after, so he's 2 for 2.
Ooh.
And we just swing in the windows, almost going down for Eclair. If you lose Eclair right now, that's your only Catwalk Rafters player, and that's gonna give the, so much bomb site control pressure here for SCARZ, so Eclair has to stay alive and try and trade out his own body 1-for-1.
And with that, Selma as well can actually open up reinforced wall towards Rafters. RU activated by Washoy. Eclair doing his best to try and stay alive with the pressure coming his way. Payload call will be answered. They lost another one though in Kawau. Advantage for SCARZ, 2 players extra. Gatorada, this is the power play, and he does connect the kill onto Washoy. Really good jump out from Secret. He'll make his way back inside of the building. That just relieves the pressure ever so slightly.
They have garage control with a double reinforcement, so Eclair is on an island. He cannot help his teammates really, nor can he be helped. This means that SCARZ could just go for, connector, master bedroom, etc., and just leave Eclair in this position, or try and 3v1 him. Go for the freebie, garage store, try and breach the wall open with the Selma charge, and they will be successful in doing so. Now Eclair is under a ton of pressure, but can they get this kill cleanly and quickly?
And yeah, I mean, the time is now also becoming a factor with how long this is starting to take. Kinotrope have done a good enough job just to delay, just to be a nuisance. And I like this little hold as well with Rafters and then Gatorada in CCTV. Eclair drops, and he's getting called on. Wreck gets the kill. Aegator then also falls. It's only Gatorada left, and he is going to get overwhelmed, and we will get to Lair. All 3 maps will be required again to complete the clean sweep across all 3 of the regions here in APL on each of their first days of finals. Yeah, let's on by. We go to Lair. I don't know who's going to win it, but it's going to be a good one.
팀 활동하면서 일단 숙소 생활도 많이 하고 하면서 이제 원래 같으면 회사 가서 막 사회생활 배우고 해야 할 나이긴 한데 뭐 여기서도 뭐 다들 뭐 사회생활이 필수니까 최대한 뭐 그런 걸 배우게 된 것 같고요. 그리고 무언가 하나를 잘하는 법에 대해서 좀 배우게 된 것 같아요. 어떤 게임이든 뭘 하든 최선을 다하는 법을 좀 배우게 된 것 같아요. 일단은 가능한 데까지는 계속 선수를 지속할 예정이고 뭐 5년 뒤나 나중은 딱히 생각은 크게 해본 적은 없는데 계속 게임 업계 관련된 일을 하고 싶고 뭐 코치가 됐든 감독이 됐든 뭐든지 하고 싶고 또 나중에 스트리밍도 본업으로 한번 해보고 싶고 뭐 게임 관련된 직종으로 해볼 것 같아요. 저 딱히 취미가 게임 말고는 없어가지고 뭐 쉬는 날에도 그냥 다른 게임을 한다거나 하지 딱히 나가서 뭘 하거나 그런 건 없고 뭐 가끔 여자친구랑 밖에 나가는 거 말고는 딱히 없는 것 같아요. 여자친구랑 사귄 지 한 4년 됐고 매번 뭐 대회 나갈 때마다 응원해주고 대회할 때도 뭐 집에서 몰래 응원해주고 되게 여러 가지 방향으로 저한테 도움을 주는데 뭐 특히 지금이 제일 도움을 많이 주고 있는 것 같은데 팀이 없어가지고 여자친구가 일을 했던 그 자금 같은 걸 가지고 지금 같이 생활을 해나가고 있고 제 남은 돈이랑 그래서 특히 지금 매우 고맙고 만나서 정말 다행이다라는 생각이 듭니다. 특히 일본이 저한테 특별한 의미를 가진 나라이기도 하고 매번 대회가 유럽 또는 미국, 브라질 이렇게 있었는데 아시아에서 메이저가 개최된 게 되게 오랜만이어서 되게 기쁘기도 하고 뭐 저도 개인적으로 진짜 꼭 가고 싶은 대회이기도 하고 팀원들도 뭐 일본 메이저니까 막 홈 어드밴티지가 있을 것 같다며 꼭 진출하자며 서로 으쌰으쌰하는 분위기였어요.
They've come out windmilling like an Englishman looking for a scrap. But talking of a scrap, Pino!
If he goes uncontested and the kick goes cold, that would be devastating. The grenade goes through, that's the swing! Cyber and Bullet are able to get one apiece with the kit so far away, and Canadian down upstairs. Cyber. Wow, that was special.
It's a 1 versus 3 to hold, and they're pushing him from behind. He's found one. He's got to get the vertical as well. They get pulled off Tim. We're down to the last 3 or 4 seconds. Ryder's got another. He's held on. He's going to do it. And PSG take the 2-1 win.
Both players spotted, but the res can be made successfully.
Information from the bees. It goes in. They cement themselves as one of the greatest of all time.
He's starting to get cooked alive, Ollie, but he's using the stim pistols. Look at this from the dock. Surely not. Brilliant. That's play of the year in my book. Plays the game, hits the old body, doesn't quite catch it. There's the impact.
He gets it.
There's the dash. He doesn't have the concentration. He's going back. He's not quite sure. He
Eski gotta go.
A few seconds. Stick it, Nessel. Stick it.
This is an angle that he might be able to contest. No, unfortunately, he takes just a bit of damage there. A walk, I guess, to the second one. Eclipse, though, will get one, turning it into a 2v2. Now they push it on the side. The Bandit will lose out on this. Eclipse, the last alive on the Ella. Spots the head and takes them down. The ace for Waka.
He will down BC. Canadian positioning to pick up, but that's going to result in a double nade from Vertical. That's 4 for him in the round. Necrox, the final defender against Vertical. The ace, absolute domination.
Believe in magic, Michael. Team 1 does as they win the Mexico Major.
All right, we're locking back in here. SCARZ, just, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand these series flips. I cannot figure it out, Michael. It is starting to really blow my mind. But alas, we see a completely different team altogether. It's not even the same roster. That was just insane.
Yeah, look, I don't think map flips themselves are crazy, right? Especially in a best of 3 with 2 teams that are so on even footing. But when you look at the scoreline, that's what stands out to me, just the stark contrast. A 7-3 into a 2-7, like really ridiculous when you consider also the style of the maps, particularly Clubhouse. Thought it would be close. I did back SCARZ in to maybe have a chance in a more structured map, but the fact that they're able to just blow away with it and have a really strong defense was quite surprising.
I think the defense was probably the most surprising part about it. Like, obviously, we know what Clubhouse is, right? Yeah. We're not being ridiculous here, but I think just the fashion in which the first half was kind of dominated by SCARZ from start to finish was very concerning. On the back of so much confidence, so much momentum, knowing what Kinotrope are like, and especially them getting an attacking side of not attacking side of map, attacking side first, where they can start to set the pace, they can start to set the tone. It does raise somewhat of a red flag. One stat that, again, we've talked about a little bit tonight, and we generally talk about on the desk, or at least in cast, is the opening kill conversion rate. Now, it was 100% on that map. Not a single one missed. But Clubhouse feels like one of those maps that we were saying it really early on. The first team that usually loses a player is down like exponentially in comparison to something where maybe we're talking about a Chalet.
Yeah, Lab's up next, and I've had a look across at the numbers for both of these 2 teams. This is going to be scrappy.
What are the numbers? What are the numbers?
It's really poor for both teams. A 1-4 record Kinotrope, a 1-3 record for SCARZ. So this could be a scrappy affair. And maybe, Jake, all 15s will be... Oh, no.
No, he's just gone and done it. Hang on.
Wait, let me try again. Do I get a retry?
Go.
Now, Jake, all 15 rounds may be required. There we go.
The first attempt, which you completely butchered, but the second attempt, Nick, he did that really well.
Yeah, he's a good boy today. I gotta say that. Big praise there for the Gustler. Yeah, he has been the GOAT. He gets a golden star for his efforts.
A golden star. Where would you put him on the ramen ranking board?
I mean, I can't put him too high because he'll get an ego rise. He's like a good little B-boy.
A little B-boy. Okay, we can call him Buzz.
Yeah, a little B-boy. Buzzler.
Alrighty, let's get into Lair. I mean, as you obviously heard on the couch, Nick, not exactly a map where either of these two have had a lot of success, which maybe that might create a little bit of fun, a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, and to go back to a point that I made during, I think, beginning of Clubhouse, it was between Lair and Bank as the deciding map. And it's funny because while Lair is like an unknown territory, Bank is like where they have so much experience and they've played each other before as well. So the fact that Kinotrope opted to go, hey, no, unknown territory, let's go here instead. They must have some strats they've been thinking of, and hopefully they're better than on Clubhouse, because that was not the game that we wanted to see. Chalet 3-7 favoring Kinotrope, 7-2 for SCARZ than on Clubhouse, and now starting off on Lair, Grim Ying, Bandit Khalid, also nothing out of the norm.
Is the fact that SCARZ haven't won on this map for a whopping 111 days a concern?
They're playing a Shield.
Oh, Shield,
They're
indeed.
playing the Monty.
And it's the Monty. Wait, and they couldn't do this before. Maybe they heard you, Nick.
No,
maybe
they couldn't do it on Clubhouse.
Maybe they've realized they needed to bring something a little different, and the Monty is going to be that difference.
This is incredible. I have just regained so much faith when it comes to Kinotrope's attacking side, because they have been missing this small piece, and it's finally here. Double down to Monty and the Glass to get 4 smokes. With the Dokubi, they get 6 of those smoke grenades. So a ton of value to be had here. Gotta be careful though. Watch out for Rake on the Wamai. You can catch some of those maybe with the magnets. For now, they're breaching the exterior wall, watching the Skybridge windows. SCARZ right now, not looking to make any plays. They gotta sit back behind the fortified positions. That's gonna be any area with a mid jammer, either of the 2 mirror windows, or of course in the proximity of Rex or my discs. If you're in any of those spots, you're a happy defender. If you're not in those spots, be careful.
The one concern for me, though, is if they put an over-reliance on this shield to be impervious. There are 4 nitros, so when you got 4 C4s, SCARZ do have plenty of ability to deal with the Montang just simply through that utility alone. You've also got the 3 gas babes, which is really good. Also delaying the eventual plant, which I imagine the attempt will be towards Mask. Or, guess what? You can also just shoot the Monty in the back of the head. And no,
take it all back.
Doesn't beat out a Claire. You lose the Monty, but you do get the trade. It's not a win for Kinotrope at all, but at the very least, it's not a mega loss. It's a 4 versus 4. But yeah, the Monty's short-lived.
Also, one small thing here. Fishlag on the smoke has been put on such low HP that a Dogebi call not answered will finish him off. So he has to respect that as well later on. Here comes a smoke grenade. Gator, that second pivotal operator on the glass, can watch through it. Takes 1 tick of damage from the Toxic Babe.
Cole.
It's a good way to trade out, right? But the thing is, there are so many more smokes than there are Toxic Babes. Fishlag called, has to answer.
And he will answer the call. But Washoy will lose out to Eclair. Nina also taking some damage. Kinotrope may not actually need this Montang at all. It seems like they're finding avenues. In through storage now. Aya Gator will put the sniper away. SMG's good enough. Deal good wreck on the Wamai. It's low health margins for both Nina and Fishlike. 30 seconds is their hope and their prayer. But too many bodies available into the site now for Kinotrope. To take the top floor on Lair on the attack would be a statement start in this 3rd map. Only Nina left. He does have a Nitro Cell, but too far away from this Musk position. The plant will be successful. Kawau will get the vaulting kill. Kinotrope get a huge opening round.
A puzzling start, but a great finish. They all work together in the hallways, and they get a ton of kills with it. The Monty, well, wasn't needed at the end of the round. They did technically get traded 1-for-1. That is a good start. I saw Akayu, by the way, yawning during Clubhouse multiple times in the player cam, and I just saw him now with a Red Bull in his hand, so he is fired up, ready for this 3rd map, getting a bit more energy. And he's got the water bottle too, so he's double dipping, staying hydrated and caffeinated, as one should.
Well, it's not even that late for them. I think the Oceanic players, had the latest time. Maybe Asia yesterday as well.
Those
got quite
guys
late.
have it harder. Oh, they have it harder over nose, man. You sound biased.
I mean, I also just said Asia, I think was also quite similar.
It's hard to play Pro League. Whether you're playing early morning or late night, it takes a lot of energy.
Nick. And you know what?
You play first to 4 in the best of 1
You
Path
would
to
know.
Pro.
You've got
they
experience.
Play first to 7, best of 3s.
I have experience. We've both got Pro League experience.
Yeah, you do?
Yep.
We do both have Pro League experience. It's true. And between the 2 of us, we got 2 hammers, 3 Pro League finals, a major, Spanish Mastership, Nordic Mastership, a German Mastership, some Tier 2 events, and last year, I actually went to Germany and played the Tier 2 finals against the Lemsch. So we got all that going for us, Jiggy Boy.
Nice.
And we have cast the greatest A-Side Grand Final together as well.
We have.
Look at that.
That's a long list. I can't believe you can remember all of that off the top of your head. I'm impressed. You've got a really good memory, Nick. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast today.
Neither can I, but I remember the most obscure stats. You ask me anything about World of Warcraft, like the map geographic and to exactly what area we're at, okay? But I can't tell you the recipe or anything else.
I would love to, but we'll be here all night, and we've got a game to talk about in terms of Siege first. All right, basement we go. It's going to be Kinotrope attacking in, looking for their 2nd round. It is a 1st floor hold for 3 of the players of SCARZ, although actually, never mind, I say that. And Yukis will drop, and for Washoy, he'll play blue stairs at the moment on the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It does mean SCARZ are giving up a lot of ground to Kinotrope when they do have the ram, so the Boogie Auto Breacher of Gatorada should open up a lot of the floorboard, and again, they do bring this Monty.
Yeah. And you see the pressure once you right now. They're fearing a direct rush when the door got open and Goya fire popped, so they fell back towards the bomb site or at least in closer proximity. That is what the Monty gives you, that fake phantom pressure. Toxic Babe as well. You'll take 1 tick of the Babe, then you'll walk back out. Again, we're burning you till early, so that when they get into an execute position later on, they've already done the dirty job of dealing with the utility. So this is actually a great kind of 2 different angles working together for Kinotrope, and you're seeing SCARZ now giving up their strong positions on the staircases, looking for a flank play elsewhere. They're feeling like it's not going to be a conventional attack. We gotta make a play, gotta match their energy. But I think the problem is they have no idea where the attack is actually coming from, nor do we, because Kinotrope haven't shown us much just yet.
They're taking their time because they do still have actually quite a bit of time in this round. It's Nina that gets the opening kill. Back-to-back opening picks for SCARZ. Nice kill onto the Monty. And again, Akayu has not been able to really make this Monty work for Kinotrope. I know they won the opening round, Nick, But in terms of the actual shield play of the Monty, it hasn't really benefited them quite a lot.
Bad timing. Doesn't land the shots, and now Kinotrope, they got the verticality, they got the hatch control, but they don't have any way to really execute reliably. So I gotta go for kills, hope the SCARZ will overswing and peek them on these doors, but they aren't. 2 of them already tanked the Dokipiko, a 3rd one about to happen, a final touch baby C4 and Valcams. SCARZ have plenty of ways to stop them from pushing, and they got the intel. While Shy goes down though. 3v4,
Well,
still
Rek is
favoring
retaken
SCARZ.
first floor though, so they weren't aware of that. He gets the free kill onto Eclair. Gatorada, 8 seconds, pushing away from the bomb site, back up blue stairs to go and deal with Rek, but there's just no time. They just knew that they couldn't actually push into the site. Rek ended up actually going Toxin anyway. We say, where are we going? And indeed, I think they realized pretty quickly, once that first floor had been retaken and they lost Eclair, they had no vert, they couldn't push into site because they were also outnumbered horizontally. To be honest, it just looked like a team that the tails were between their legs and they ran away.
Yeah. Been praising Kinotrope's like strategy, but it does feel like it's plan A or it's no plan at all. The moment the Monty dies, right? Nina found a kill upstairs behind the Monty, and then 3 separate defenders sprinted towards him, melee, watch the angles, take him down from the side. They need a good plan B though. You can't only have one way to attack and one way to win, and everything has to be perfect, and you gotta have this player get this kill, and you gotta deal with this piece of util. Sometimes you just gotta full send it. And while you're in a 2v4 and there's Goya Fire and there's no way in, drop the hatch. Go for a crazy play. Maybe you'll hit a hipfire headshot, who knows? I don't want to see a 5th round now for Kinotrope over this BO3 where it's a 2v3 or 2v4 and they aren't even trying to play it out. Just go for it. Feel that free flow in the server. Don't be scared to make a mistake.
5 seconds to insertion.
And it's funny what can happen when you actually do go for it. I mean, we have a catalog of rounds in Siege across all regions. 1v5s, 2v4s, 2v5s. Like, it's not as if they're impossible. And this game, there's no reason to not go for it. It's not like you get to save your gun. There's no money aspect. There's no reason to not try. Even if it seems like a 0.1% chance, it's probably happened before at some point historically. But credit to SCARZ. I mean, I don't think they've been bad by any means. They've actually dealt with the Monty so far well enough that Kinotrope's given up on it. They actually got to switch Gatorada now over to the Blitz. So they dropped the Monty. But they must win this top floor. So you lose it once, fine. I can give you one, but you can't lose this again on Master and R6 defensively led. You've got to win this now, SCARZ. Especially before the next bans.
Like if they went off the Monty, like you said, it wasn't working. And if the Blitz also is ineffective for this round, I think you just ditch them all together. We can say how on paper the shields are great, you should be playing them, but if it is working against you as a team, as individual players, get Gatorada on a gun. So we'll see what he can make of this round. Gatorada is 0-0-0, but each team has 1 round each, so that's a fun stat line for you. He's solo pushing Ops room. He's gonna just right-click over the gunfight again. Not the usual shield play style. Now he's in trouble because this 1 impact grenade will kill him.
Where's the hell?
Or injure him.
Oh my goodness,
Solo
Rek!
Oh, it's go next.
Oh my goodness. I just can't believe what I'm watching.
This is
rough. Solo push Ops, and then you have a Claire at the doorway, and it's only after Nick that Gatorada goes down, does a Claire go, oh, maybe I'll swing. And then Rek at that point has already dealt with the Blitz, so he's immediately going to look. Where else is he going to look to? Think about what is the option of him to look at. It's the doorway or leave. And of course he's going to look at the doorway.
No one's in the window. As you said, there's no help. They don't clear downstairs because Nina's roaming beneath them as well. It's just falling apart. Now we got the same spot. 2v5. We're outside the building, baiting for a couple of kills, hopefully finding one for the scoreboard, then falling back outside. And there is still so much time. 45 full seconds. There we go. Consolation kill for Kawa. He gets on the board. Forced. He's 4-0. But they're not going to get the round.
He would be better off being 4-1 and trying in this 30 seconds than being 4-0.
He would, so please walk on in and take that fight. I know it looks impossible, but there is a chance you can clutch it. There always is that 1% outcome. And he is going to contest in the hallways. Careful by this right and left. He's going to smoke off one angle and fight the other.
can't believe it's 12 seconds left to go in the round. It's only just now cleared out the default cam over towards Mezzanine. There's the down onto Nina. Where's Akayu? He's just soloed, by the way. This is essentially a 1v4. Akayu, there's no time left. It's like he got two kills. Nick, they got 2 kills. They could have got into Mask and then gone for a plan if they actually tried from the start. They're laughing, but honestly, that's the kind of attitude that just says they don't have that killer mentality. They didn't really care about winning that round. They just wanted to give it like a soft try. I don't know. I know maybe I sound a little harsh, but this is finals.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think there's a time and a place where you pull the plug and you have a tactical timeout where one player trying to clutch one player on flourish drones way outside the building and spawn. You're not on the same page. And that has been the issue, right? I don't understand it because we saw the entire BO3 play out. First map, Chalet, Kinotrope look incredibly good. They look very strong. Then we go to Clubhouse, a map that you should be even better on, and it's just completely falling apart. Okay, we go on Lair. They learned from their past mistakes, right? Wrong. They continue that same questionable trend. I mean, this right here between Gatorada and the player behind him of Eclair, that I cannot explain it. I cannot forgive it. I don't understand how it happened. And the same thing here between Akayu and Kawa. One person's trying his heart out, and the other one is not even trying at all. And there was definitely a world there where that clutch becomes possible had they both committed to the bid. Disappointing. SCARZ banned the Monty. Thank God I tip my hat and say, good job, SCARZ, because we don't want to see Kinotrope with an operator, okay? Give them Blind, give them Blitz, something different. And Kinotrope banned the assignment response. It's a great operator. Played on all the 3 bomb sites. It's going to make life a little bit easier, but it does not solve their issues.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, after the first 2 rounds, banning the Monty, I don't know if it even makes sense because the Monty didn't do anything in the first 2 rounds anyway. But I guess you take away the ability for Kinotrope to actually start to play the Monty correctly, and if played correctly, could have impact. So I kind of preemptively see the ban for SCARZ based on what could happen rather than what has happened. More of a proactive ban than a reactive one. Bunk's briefing, we'll get to see it now for the first time. Kinotrope will bring the sends, but by not having the Monty now on this bomb site, it actually does make it more difficult. In fact, no shield play on this bomb site makes it more difficult, even if they do have the sends and those ROUs.
Just waiting to see the approach right now for Kinotrope. I am curious who's supposed to make the first play in the first entry right now. Every operator is super vital rather to the setup. I could be Gatorada on the... I forgot the name. The Gridlock. There it is. The Gridlock is probably the least valuable, just being a flank watcher, and he's doing that job right now. But you gotta get in there. You gotta force SCARZ away from the strong positions off the map. They're not gonna give it up willingly. Because SCARZ are not scared in the 0 right now. They know that they're in a winning position. Oh.
Claire gets that first kill onto Fishlike, who starts 0-3. The Warden eliminated. And the Warden's not ultra needed. Of course, doesn't really help out with the ROUs of the Sense. No. The glasses don't do anything, so it's not the end of the world. And there's only a couple of flashes. I mean, the smokes are nice. So when if you do layer the smokes with the shield screen, but again, the shield screen then would override the glasses of the Warden, so it's again not a critical loss. They will now turn their attention towards green and start to actually open up the site horizontally. Gatorada is still over towards Skybridge. Nina finds a long angle headshot onto Ayagata. He's playing that first floor position by himself. They lose a clear as well to Yukiz. Gatorada is hoping that someone from SCARZ will try and push back down green stairs. It's looking good though for the defense. Kayu did get into the site, tapped the kit temporarily. Gatorada is just desperately hoping that someone from SCARZ will push out, and eventually Breck will go searching towards the doorway, losing his life to Gatorada. Shield screen goes up. Now, of course, Yukiz on the Solas can spot roughly where Akayu is, so they do have to play this little dancing game first.
Yeah. And try and bait the bomber side, then flank back upstairs at the exact same moment, distract Yukiz and maybe get a kill from Gatorada. He sees the spot, Washington takes a kill, Nina as well. I mean, just Kawa, middle of the bomb site, 6-0 on the scoreboard, looking for this round, finds the first one.
And it's a 1 versus 2 now for Kawao, as eventually Nina does get dealt with. But Nina did enough in this round. He got 2 kills from the site as the solo. Enough to disrupt this attack of Kinotrope. No time remaining. Will go for the plant inside of Bug. Still double stack above. They haven't opted to drop down until just now. And there is no time left. Kawao has no time. Washoi does the best thing possible. And this right here is the difference between these two teams. Nick, he didn't care about his KD. He knew when he dropped, he's going to die or he's going to disrupt the plant. In the end, he did both, and that is why they win the round. While he does die and it affects his KD, they win the round. I don't know if that's the kind of play Kinotrope would have been doing. They look like they're more focused on staying 4-0. In fact, you're looking at an 8-0 Kawao, but they're 1-3 down.
I was going to say, it's crazy stat line. 8-0, you're losing. We will see attack timer being called, thanks from Okumesh here, to talk to the boys. Big smiles there on the side of Leo and SCARZ. I think they feel very comfortable in the server. They have nothing to worry about right now. They just got to keep doing what they have been. I think if you're Leo, you talk about the possible issues, right? Oh, guys, if they start playing these operators, keep this in mind. If they start brute forcing this kind of meta, keep this counter in mind. Just to kind of pre-plan what issues could arrive. Because if Kinotrope keep playing the same game and SCARZ keep playing the same game, the results shouldn't change a whole lot. So it really is upon Kinotrope to make a big shift right now, either strategically or individually, to change the outcome. SCARZ, they're just passengers. They're just here for the ride. They don't got to do a damn thing at the minute.
Defenders protect
3 in a row for SCARZ. It's been an intriguing lair so far. I mean, I can also envision this being defender-sided. So again, I'm not going to kind of put this dispel onto Kinotrope and say, yeah, they're out of this. They're struggling so much, and while they're certainly having issues, I think this is a good time to call a tactical timeout, talk things over. 2 rounds before the half. You probably might only need the 2 attacking rounds anyway, so by no means are they in a big hole. It's not a pit of despair, but it very quickly can snowball. These next 2 rounds are incredibly important because I don't know if they will have the capability to bring back a 5-1 deficit if it gets out that badly. So they need to actually start to kick into gear. They also need to start, if you're Kawao, and I understand in certain rounds, yes, he's 8-0. It's not entirely like, oh, he's saving KD, and there are certain circumstances as to why he hasn't died yet. But there also has been plenty of circumstances where he probably should have died by trying to do everything possible to win a round. And I'd say at least 2 occasions, maybe 3, he's opted against doing that. And that mindset, that mantra, that seeps through to the rest of the team.
I think it's completely valid to talk about and put into question, because this is, as you said, a do-or-die spot. Like, you're playing here, you're in stage finals, you've done a great job during groups, you're here for the first time as an organization, by the way. This should, and I'm sure it matters a lot to these guys. And that's why it's so questionable that it doesn't feel like they're playing at 100%. Again, the scoreboard does not matter. You shouldn't be afraid of dying for the greater good of the round. Let's see what change can be made, though. Akayo back on the shield. On the blitz. Or should I say, Kinotrope back on the shield. Not Akayo in particular. He's in the building now, in barrel. Takes a little bit of damage. He's got support from Kawa, actually. And they're forcing back the defenders of SCARZ. And taking a good bit of map control. Wall is soft. Oh, phenomenal trade, though. Wall bang back from Fishlike. But I'm gonna say right here, that is what we want to see from Kawa. Yeah. He goes in selflessly. He trades his teammate because Akayo was in trouble. And then Kawa will get his own kill and then die himself. This is worth it. This is good. They get Garrett's control. They keep the blitz alive for the plant later on. This is really good.
A little bit more aggression, and as really good as it is, the only downside, he does have 9 kills. The rest of the team combined has 5. So they are now lacking some firepower with him being dead. It's kind of funny, I criticize him for maybe trying to keep himself alive, and then now in a round where he's dead, the plants go down from Akayu. No disruption. It will be successful. Indeed, he has done it. Yukiz, though, gets rid of Eclair. So the numbers in the post-plant will be with SCARZ for now to begin with. Kinotrope just have to now get into good post-plant positions. They do still have this blitz over towards lockers as Akayu will sit close by to the diffuser. Goes pistol out. He does have a Yagator who watches the doorway. Lovely double kill. 3 now from Kinotrope with that death of Nina. That's so much better for Kinotrope. And it all started, Nick, with the selflessness of Kawao.
Beautiful. literally all the things you can discuss and point your finger at being possible issues with Kinotrope, they solve after a single tactical timeout. As you said, selflessness, getting in there, trading, not caring about the scoreboard, and surrendering a quote-unquote worthless Sophia operator to enable the Blitz to stay alive, because that's why that happened. That Kaio was in trouble, Kawa stepped up, and because the Blitz is there, they can go for a plant. Really good gap find, just using a bit of a noise around the bomb side, plant in the middle of the smoke, recognizing there was no real plant denial there from the opposition. And funny enough, SCARZ, with only losing that round, will call their own tactical timeout. So we're going back to back all of a sudden.
I feel like that's actually something that doesn't happen too often, not only in the 6th round, but the back-to-back after they've just spoken. And guess what? We'll also get to speak again after this in the halftime role swap timer. Essentially, it's like 3 rounds straight where the coaches are just going to get to permanently talk. Like, you may as well just include them in the server at this point. It will expire. We head into round number 6. Master and R6 once again. This is a good sight for SCARZ, good sight defensively. Kinotrope, though, did win it back in the opening round. And now the tension rises again quickly. After 3 straight from SCARZ, Kinotrope have the ability to get a 3rd attacking round, which I think, Nick, would put them in a very good position going into the second half.
Yeah, 100%. I do think that on paper, Kinotrope's defenses have been looking like they have more potential. So I think if they get a 3-2 side swap occurs, great spot to be in. And they still get that momentum, get some confidence back, and they seem to have, at least that previous round, solved their issues in the server. Can they go back-to-back, though? Can they find this magic again? They're getting that same kind of operators, it looks like. Just waiting for us. Oh, it's gone. See, that's why I wasn't going to talk about it. Blackbeard onto Flores, very last second.
You've gone and done it after I did it earlier.
I should have just left it alone. Only, yeah, I shouldn't have tried. I was going to say, Togepi with the Blackbeard is very great at finding those individual defenders, the lurkers downstairs, because that has been the thing here. Nina loves to get in the side of Kinotrope. Oh, you're going for a play upstairs? Let me just flank you vertically. Oh, there goes the C4. Oh, there's a staircase. Going to go for a kill. Nina will be that playmaker. If they can shot Nina down like a map on a chalet, that could easily turn the tide as well. Because if you let Kinotrope get to the side and get to execute, they are great. But they have been stopped early in these rounds in the opening duels by players like Nina.
Here again, on the search for the IQ to find some electronics from below inside of bunks. They actually don't really bring any vert from below. A lack of buck for me in just trying to create some pressure into the site. Here you go, we'll get at least a little bit of information. Yellow ping can do some damage from here, not from that kind of angle. Although damage onto Rek, of course, trying to play off the jug of payloads from Kawau. But Rek's just going to eat the cold so as to not take any more pressure, but he is inadvertently taking the pressure from the bullets and has been team killed.
Oh, team kill? No!
Fishlike has just shot him in the head. Oh no!
He was trying to pre-fire the window for the fallback, but then took out his teammate instead. He was trying to make the right play, but it goes punished. And if you're Kinotrope, yes, thank you.
Oh.
We'll take that freebie.
Oh, just both at the mezzanine. And he's just shot him.
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't been able to actually see it firsthand. I'm just watching back the Telestrator. They were just both standing at mezzanine, and then Fishlike's killed him.
Okay. Well, it happens, I suppose. Players, they make mistakes. I mean, once upon a time, you could take down your teammates in the prep phase while you're making a rotation with a shotgun, and that cost some people some lives. But that's been removed, thankfully. Now you got like the teammate team kill protection during the prep phase at least. But Kinotrope in a prime position to go for a plant. There's no Tashanka, right? There's 3 toxic babes with 50 seconds to go. She can burn this 1 by 1, 2 at once actually. And once they run out of gas, you can go for a default plant, just watch the deep angles and actually get a very easy round victory. There goes the babes. There goes the push.
Case will get acquired. It was left in ops. Jump out was sure he doesn't find anything. 30 seconds doesn't leave a lot of time remaining in this round. Call will go on to Yukiz. Still another jug of payload available from Kawau. Lovely headshot from Eclair onto Fishlike. The plan into Mask now coming through for Kinotrope. 1-for-1 trade, but now second follow-up from Kawau. Had himself an incredible half. No more selflessness. Now it's all about the team plays. He gets the plant down successfully. Washoy is low on health. A pixel, a sliver, small margins. Oh, this is pressure. Payload call. You have to enter this. So Washoy is forced back and he has to enter this call. That allows Akayu to push up the mezzanine doorway and get the kill.
Oh.
What a lovely call from the Dockerby. And we've got ourselves a huge lead heading into the second half for SCARZ. It's a 3-3. I've done it again. Boys, it's getting late. Kinotrope, tie it up, Rob. I don't know what's going to happen from here.
You know what the best part is? I don't ever know what's going to happen when you open your mouth sometimes. That's what's even better. Look, to be fair, I think that what he's done there pretty much encapsulates some of those rounds. I mean, it's been very heavily chaotic once again. These two teams just really do love chaos in the server. I mean, there's so many moments that I can think to. A three-man run out on a Monty just sitting outside just encapsulates to me what this matchup can sometimes do in this series. But guys, honestly, 3-3 probably feels like par for the course and feels a little fair, considering when you look at like the statistics on paper, there are two players doing very well for both teams. Well, one player doing very well for both teams, and then behind them is not a lot.
Yeah, 3-3 is fair, but I think that SCARZ would be a little bit disappointed, right?
Sure.
Especially off the back of the final round. A completely unnecessary TK put them a player down for that round, and I think that 4 is probably going to be required in this half. I'm a little skeptical as to SCARZ's ability to be able to attack and break down this map. And unfortunately, because Clubhouse was so short in its length, we don't have a great likeness to compare to, and I don't think Chalet is anywhere near the same as Lair in terms of how it's going to play out for the attack. So I'm a little concerned for SCARZ. It would be pretty devastating if we reflect on this map and that ends up being a big difference maker.
It's been a while since I've seen an opening kill be a TK, I'll say that much. But I think to amplify as well what Guz is saying, they've only won 2 attacking rounds this entire series so far.
Yeah, but I mean, based on Clubhouse, obviously they didn't have many rounds to attack.
They
seemed relatively dominant on that first attack that they got to play. Yeah, I mean, I told you before this map started, I don't want to make any more predictions because I think I'm 0 for 6 tonight. Based on stats, we've said a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
None of it's come true. Anyway, Kinotrope to win.
Up the Kinotrope, Guz?
So is that like a reverse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look, unfortunately, I don't think I don't have as much faith in SCARZ being able to get this result. I feel like they're in a nervy position. I'm not convinced that their attack's going to be good enough. We'll wait and see. The bans come through, and it looks like Kinotrope are going to try and subdue some of that aggression with the Blitz and the Ying. And then, I mean, I feel like Nick has been non-stop talking about it today, but once again, the Kite and the Bandit combination, and I know he's not a big fan of that.
Well, you know what? Do you know what the best part is? No one really cares that much, I'll be honest with you. But
Rob, can you see me?
Hang on, I can see Jake.
You're on what are you on? A chair, sofa, couch?
I'd say I'm on an armchair.
Are you on an armchair? So you're an expert?
Yeah.
Well, these two are on the fence. They can't decide. Tell me who's winning this.
Attackers discovered the location of the bomb.
Kinotrope?
Kinotrope?
Maybe.
Okay.
Question mark?
I feel like that to me, that's as good as gold. I'm going to take that and run with it. Kinotrope are going to close this out, courtesy of our armchair expert, Robert J. Monday. Nick, they go on defense, though, and to be honest, that does probably give them a slight edge, a slight favoritism heading into the second half. And I mean, across the series, if we kind of now encapsulate everything and look at everything holistically, you go all the way back to Chalet, Kinotrope, they looked sensational. Clubhouse, they looked awful. And then here on Lair, it's all equal. We've kind of seen a bit of everything.
Yeah, we certainly have. And if you just tuned in, you might think that Kawa is the sole reason why the scoreline is 3-3. And there's a funny story behind that, okay? And I won't tell it to you right now, but that's happened.
It kind of is a big reason it's 3-3 for both reasons.
On both sides of it, yeah. Yeah, I think Kawa got 8 of his 10 kills on the 3 rounds that they lost, and then got 2 of the 10 kills on the rounds that they won. But I will say, one of those 2 kills that he got was round-defining. So there is that. He has been influential in both kinds of ways. I do think Kinotrope, though, looking pretty strong. I do have my thoughts about the Bandit Kaid ban here for SCARZ, but I'll also say this. SCARZ is one of the few teams where they're not like the full package when it comes to breaching the walls. That's not their strength, okay? They're great at the injury, they're great at taking the fights, so they don't need help in that area. Where they do want to simplify the game is at getting the walls opened up. So I do actually like it here for SCARZ a little bit, just because I would hate to see them get stuck outside the building. That is not going to be the case now because of this. Kinotrope in the hallways though, to match SCARZ's aggression. And here comes that first bit of breaching. It should be completely free for the taking because of those operators being bent away.
Yeah, 3 Nitro cells brought into the round for Kinotrope. 90 seconds goes by. SCARZ do have pressure from briefing with the buck.
He doesn't see him.
Ping information, and now we'll play offer with the skeleton key. Felt like Wishoy was a little bit curious about whether or not someone was going to push him. Does deal with the mirror window, but still hasn't actually been able to find a kill or do damage from below. Still job done. Mirror window opened up. And slow push in towards storage now for Nina.
This plan could be very possible here. If they can clear the player on the B chassis with that final grenade from Blackbeard's pocket, or get what's shown the buck downstairs to open up the floor, that can let them an easy kill here for SCARZ. With that kill, Nina and BB can just walk on in. They also clear the mirror window with foreshowing. Great job. SCARZ are doing all the right things right now, and they get that pick that I spoke about.
And Caillou does fall down, courtesy of Fish-like. I thought there was maybe going to be a good cross with Caillou, but it was given up, and walk in they can if they so choose. There are still some bodies available for Kinotrope. Display for Aegator. Does still have a Nitro Cell. He's praying that it's going to be a Yuki's vaulting without clearing it properly. Yuki's holds for now. Thinks about the flashbang. Oh, he does overexpose though. It's a wide swing after throwing that flash. And that loses his life. And with Nina falling, it's a 3v3 until Fish-like and Wreck both get one apiece. Wreck then gets the second. SCARZ can attack here on Lair.
Beautiful. 2 very crucial picks before they execute, and it buys them enough bodies in the server to also lose some later on and still had a fighting chance. We didn't see how Nina died on the Blackbeard. It was that SNG-11 from one of the defenders, and they just push on in. They have a backstab, they have a frontal push, and they have a verticality all working together. So they steal the advantage once again, 4-3 now favoring SCARZ. That right there is how I thought that Kinotrope would be attacking when they started off the rounds. You know, just one shield player, play around it, utilize the block downstairs like they did on Chalet. But it turns out that SCARZ would take a page out of Kinotrope's strat book rather from earlier and use it to great success.
So SCARZ will retake the lead. They have completely dominated the early fights in this match. 7 rounds, 5-2 advantage. I think they've been just slightly better on Lair. Probably makes that scoreboard look quite accurate. It was 100% opening kill conversion back on Clubhouse. Pretty large conversion on Chalet as well. And a bit more hit and miss here on Lair. But as we get down to the final rounds, I do wonder if that's going to make a return. And if it does, SCARZ are looking far better in those opening duels. As we head to basement for this round, the Echo will be employed from Caillou.
Ooh. Nice little one tap. That is half the health of a shot just gone in a single bullet. That is a tough fight to win up against that DMR. SCARZ still, again, don't have to do too much in the early stage of the rounds. They have so many different ways of playing this. The roam clear, the direct pushes, they have a very flexible lineup. When you get the Ram, Solid Snake, and Blackbeard in the mix, you can go for so many different takes. The big question mark is, are they aware of the roamers on top floor? There's Gatorada playing that Melusi and essentially droning right now. If they find him, they could hunt him down, try and force that 5v4 advantage. But Gatorada is so far on the other side of the building that the drone is not going to hear him yet. And if you're going to spend all this time looking for him, it's going to take you maybe too much time actually to figure it out.
No enemies detected nearby.
Nothing on the radar for Yukiz.
Nope. Wrong floor.
SCARZ are taking their time. To be honest, the pacing here on Lair has been of the slower variety. Kind of looking at the opening kill times throughout the entire game, it's all basically 1.5 minutes and lower. And I wonder if Kinotrope can kind of get a bit more of a read into that. I like this second floor hold from Gatorada because we haven't really seen a lot of cheeky play on Lair so far. SCARZ may not know this. We saw, of course, Yuki's on the radar. He didn't get this intel, although the way they're positioned, it leads me to believe they've got some kind of a clue. UKiz is watching towards main stairs. Gatorada, though, does not push down. Instead, will go over towards mezzanine. Even he looks like he has a feeling that he's being watched as we head into the final minute.
Yeah, Shaw injured, Kawa dead in the grave, Toxic Babes going out. They have no local fire, there's a pop at all in this round, sadly, but it's going to be Kinotrope winning most of the fights.
Gatorada did win his battle, by the way, the 1v1 on that first floor. He got the kill onto Nina, who was still playing that ram with the Boogie Auto Breach. And it's only Fishlike left in Toxin. Kinotrope will respond in the 8th round. A strong hold on the site. Gatorada with a decent roam. On HP. Oh, hang on, the round's not done yet. Bring it back. Bring it back. We've gone a little early. There is still 20 seconds. Okay, now you can show the cams. Now we can go and show the cam. There we go. We just formalities still had to be played out. Yes, it was very unlikely. And we are tied at 4-all.
Good bit of holding on there from Kinotrope, using the Toxic Babes to one angle, cover the other with a shotgun, and just saying, hey, we might not have the numbers, we do have the utility to make it an even fight. The Blackbeard not successful at finding enough kills on the entry. It's a hard job to play the shields here on layer, I gotta say, unless you're the Munty. There's so many crossfires and verticality, the different trap operators. It is not an easy task. And would you look at that? Tertiary bomb site and another Maestro on the board. I love this from Kinotrope. And it is forcing the question of Brava or no Brava. Because are you going to pick an operator only to counter the Maestro in this round? Or do you just say, hey, we're not going to bring out the Brava at all. We're going to bring maybe Sophia or Ash or extra frag grenades to deal with it instead. But what happens then if you don't manage to deal with those Evil Eyes later on? You can't go for a plant. So you are kind of stretching SCARZ a bit more thin on the attacking lineup, which is a way to weaken them and strengthen yourself, of course.
Probably the most beautiful Xbox Game Pass
Just gonna say.
free cam that I've seen, to be honest. With the butterflies, that actually was top-notch.
Flowers.
Shout out to the double A's. Alex and Andrew, our observers, who have done a tremendous job. To everyone in production as well across this stage. It's been great. Obviously, we've still got another 3 days to go. So keep it up. Gator gets the opening kill. It's onto Nina. So that's the Dockerby. That's a good operator to eliminate. Been a rough one for Nina. 4 and 8. And Nina has been a very good player for SCARZ throughout this stage. 9th rated player in the region for APAC North. In this series, Nina sits at 16 and 19, second lowest rated player for SCARZ. So haven't got the best out of Nina in this matchup.
Definitely a surprise. Now, losing Dockerby early, it is actually one of the few counters they had available for the Maestro. You can, of course, call Lacayo, you can hack the cams temporarily. A get injured from the exterior, but should be revivable for free here by Eclair. He will do so. No real punishment. Wreck on the window, doesn't find it. Could find the second. He knows there was a second player really earlier. And yeah, perfect read from him. Agita says, I'll trade myself 1-for-1, not the end of the world. As they have got Nina. So back to even Steven numbers. Still got the Blackbeard on the board, but 2 Heartbreachers in this particular position when Heartbreaching isn't going to be the most important area. It does feel like a missed opportunity to have something else. Wreck gets injured and confirmed. With fire popped, we are waiting for 20 seconds.
I mean, this is not looking good though for SCARZ, because on Bunk's briefing, the fact that they don't have really the ability to go direct to site, they have to clear above into a 4-stack defense. I mean, well, I guess technically 2. Actually, that's the one downside here for Kinotrope. They are a little bit vulnerable. I just realized, I thought there was a 3-stack, but they actually they had a 2-2 split. That leaves now Eclair by himself. The best thing Eclair can probably do now is give this up. He has to forfeit this. Or at least hold the green stairs flank.
Yeah. I think you like semi-forfeit it, go for a late round of flank as a win condition, and just kind of wait and see if the defenders on the bomb side can hold out. Because there's no vertical operators here. There's a grim secondary shotgun, but not enough time to really utilize it. So it does mean that Kinotrope defenders do have, as you see Fukawa, a playable position on the side itself. The scary part is this Blackbeard can easily walk into the side and start establishing down that diffuser. Then they gotta time Eclair flanking, but actually he's gone downstairs into bomb, so there's no flank up top. It's just the side itself. Fukawa gets a freebie.
Yeah, that's gonna force the drop down as well for Washoy. Doesn't get anything on the initial drop. 15 seconds to try and salvage this, but it's looking like Kinotrope will get it done indeed. Bugs briefing goes their way. got a little bit scary after the 2-2 split, got opened up by the attack. The reposition of green stairs to play for life ended up benefiting Kinotrope greatly. It's now 5-4. We are getting close to closing this series out. Kinotrope can see the finish line. They just need 2 more rounds. Heading into these bans, what do both teams want to get rid of?
If you're going to be really nasty, you could ban Brava, play Maestro. The more realistic chance of we're going to be banning out the Capital or the Blackbeard in this case. I'm saying Capital because they could start playing it. I'm saying Blackbeard because they have been playing it. Grim is also not a bad option, but I don't feel like it has actually been super influential. It does suck to get Grim B, Red Pink spotted, etc., but it hasn't been a game changer. On the flip side, it's going to be the Mirror, again playing triple around the wall denial and not having to bring out the Asher verticality. And I like the fact that Akayo picks the Maestro right off the rip here, mentioning that Brava ban is a potential. Because imagine, right? I know Grim is good, but imagine you ban away the one super counter to this niche pick of Maestro. That would be something. And out goes the Capital.
Look back at the replay, it was a pretty decent round. We haven't really had, so far on Lair, too many close rounds. Really, if you go all the way back to the 4th round, that was the 1v1, and that was it. Everything else has been 2 or 3 alive has usually been the closest. As we get close to the finish line now at 5-4, this is when usually those big defining moments take over and who can win the clutches, who can get those impact kills. So far the opening kills aren't looking like that's going to be the main determination. It's getting a bit 50-50 over the last 6 rounds, so that's not really following through as like a major storyline for either team in dominating that area of the game. And back to Master R6, so this is also something that is of concern because even though SCARZ did win this in the 7th round, for all intents and purposes, Kinotrope should be winning this site. And if they do, they will go 6-4 up.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Now, Nina going to the Monty, that is it's a 2-coin conversation, right? On one side, Nina has been one of the star fraggers of Epic North. He said 9th best rater or something like that. Yep. Now he's on a passive operator in the Monty. On the flip side, Nina, for this particular BO3, has struggled. So it's the perfect person to put on the Monty to have a big influence elsewhere. It's a matter of putting the person on the operator that makes the most amount of sense. So I quite like the switch up. It should change the pace up here for SCARZ. It should change their win conditions a bit more. And Nina does have that experience as well to walk in the building and be a vocal player. And share what he's seeing, where they should be attacking from.
And it's typically Fish-like. He's the shield player. He's top 3 most played attacking operators. Monty, Blitz, Blackbeard in that order.
That's it.
But you're right. So when you're having that kind of series where you're in the wrong positions, your timings aren't perfect, you're not hitting shots, maybe you're not feeling confident. Go on the shield, see if that changes things. Nina does stay alive, so eats a big chunk of damage. There are still another 2 Nitro Cells available as well for Kinotrope, so Nina's going to have to dodge those even further deeper into this 10th round. It feels like to me, Kinotrope have got a lot of momentum. As a C4, he falls. It's not working. Even with the shield nick, nothing's going his way in this series. At the window, though, the FAMAS of Washoi beats out a Yagata and Gatorada on 1 HP. Things start to get dicey in this 10th round. 60 seconds left. It feels like SCARZ are throwing one last Hail Mary.
It's getting so cut. Everyone taking damage. Red goes down. No more kept on fire arrows. And Sinclair's could be in a very strong position by that table. Walls still somewhat reinforced. Evil Eyes still alive for the red pink information. Why are they swinging the door?
Why are you swinging the
crossfire?
door? SCARZ don't really have a lot of ways into the site, but one of them is if you end up dying. Nitro Cell thrown, didn't push into Mars. What a pixel angle from Kawau. Fish like Washoi, both low. But so is Gatorada. They need a double stack together, both on ping. Information acquired for Kinotrope. Washoi clears him. Close angle. Activates the radar and gets a little bit more intel. The Evil Eyes are still up.
They're so low.
Could Akayu be a difference if Washoi and Fishlike walk into the line of sight of those cameras? 10 seconds. The bullet hose. It just goes brrrr, as Kinotrope will get themselves a 2-round match and series point lead.
What a way to do it again. Once again, it's the Maestro that is going to be the playmaker, just like back on Chalet, finding the round clutch. This time not with the gadget, with that primary weapon of the LMG. But what a round from both sides there. Nina walks up the rocket staircase, tanks 2C4s, goes down, trading back and forth, and Kinotrope really wanting to fight back, maybe a little bit too much even, because they started swinging the doorways, surrendering strong positions, and fighting too early at the end there. But they do lock in the round. They play Garawara and lobby, watching the verticality, expecting a default plant, thinking SCARZ were gonna panic and just try and make a simple plant occur. Not the case. SCARZ, they pushed deep. They saw those Master Evil Eyes. They knew they couldn't go for a plant. So it was effectively a 2v1 favoring SCARZ.
SCARZ have won a single round in the last 6 rounds played. This one got pretty close. I mean, this clear here was sure I thought, okay, 2v2, 10 seconds, and then Nukayu. The LMG is so strong up close, and just at that point, you just hold left click, you don't do anything else, and you hope and you pray, and the spray does connect. SCARZ are now facing elimination, Nick. They were so competitive against CAG, you'd think back they could have maybe won that series. And now they face elimination and a potential 4th place finish at the hands of Kinotrope. And Kinotrope, of course, well, they did play D+ back in that upper bracket semi-final. And while it wasn't close, they did get a map. And so by getting a map, who knows what they could do in a rematch. Recto on the Nook, able to eliminate Eclair. Opening kill for SCARZ.
That right there is what we call an off-pace play. You do something way too early or way too late in the round and it catches them by surprise. It's the Nerk that can hide from the Yoga drones, which were inside a garage, so they're probably saying, guys, it's clear, if they were even watching the cameras at all. And it gives them a strong start to this round. But mind you, the pressure is still on SCARZ. They know that it's all or nothing. You lose this round, that's it. You need to come out successful. Thankfully, though, they have some strong operators to get that job done, right? Especially Solid Snake here from Yukiz and Fishlike on the Blackbeard. They can get a ton of different information. They can walk in safely with the shield and try and isolate some of these Kinotrope players. And they got a ton of different frag grenades as well to clear the little bit of util that's actually on the board here. It's just the Banshees and the Thorn Razor Blooms. There's no Goyo. There's no real sort of time denial. So that 1 minute 30-second timer is quite accurate.
Yuki is, by the way, hunting down Gatarada over towards reception. Gatarada is so lucky to just make his way back to safety. He did get shot at by Yukiz, who backfills in, takes this position. Gatarada ends up just running around trying to play a game of cat and mouse. Pre-firing the doorway, blows up the pipe. Minute remaining. This is at least taking some attention of SCARZ away. And when I say SCARZ, it's mainly Yukiz. It's essentially a 1v1 between those two, which leaves 3 on site for Kinotrope. They are outnumbered in this site push, unless Gatarada can get back and help out. Here comes the push from the Blackbeard. Nitrosol thrown at top the doorway, and Washoi is lucky to be alive. He's on 1 HP. He should have been dead. Kowal landed the majority of those shots.
Gatarada's looking for a flank, could be the hero for now. They're just stalling things out. 35 seconds. Gonna be a lot of trouble for Kyle in a second once Blackbeard walks on in.
Nitro's still up. Never mind. It doesn't matter now because Kowal's dead. Washoi comes back to finish the job as Nina locks in. Big headshot. Ayagator, no more gas babes. Don't forget about Gatarada. He's coming in quite late and he loses out to Recto. He was being watched. And SCARZ will get us to all 12 rounds of regulation. It's only fitting.
Did I hear Rob in the background?
That was our host. He's very excited with the game that's playing right now. Match point 6-5. Kinotrope will get one last opportunity. SCARZ are holding on.
I just want to point out that you asked Rob who he thought was going to win. He said Kinotrope. And when SCARZ winning a round, he's celebrating massively in the background. That's
Don't question the mind of a mega mind.
Nope. Don't question the mind of a bald man.
Or an armchair expert, as he self-labeled himself. Which is better than 2 men on a fence. I can't even remember. Vinny, what did you predict? Kinotrope? Kinotrope.
I think he's gone back and forth. I don't know at this point. They said that they were not sure. They didn't know anymore. And they're jinxing teams and just was not working out. One thing, though, is Kinotrope recognized that the timer is running extremely low for SCARZ's attack in that previous round in particular, despite getting an early kill from Rek like 20 seconds in. So I think that's going to be the game plan right now. Look at the lineup. it's going to be Goyo, Maestro, Smoke, all about denying time and resources. Kawa on the Wamai is going to strengthen the few playable spots on the side that they truly care about. You know, the desk, whoever who's going to play in the desk position, and just to keep the Maestro alive. And Air get on solids, which gives you a second way to deny a plant vertically from below. I think the skinners are saying, we're going to play super passive, not take any risk in the server, and just have SCARZ try and problem solve it and fight against the clock as the biggest adversary. I say that, I get a swing in the window with a shotgun, so maybe that's not the case, but theoretically on paper, they shouldn't be going too aggressive here.
I mean, theoretically, if SCARZ want, they can go pretty quick into Bunk's briefing, but they don't bring the Sens to go alongside the Blackbeard. And through ops, that will be a top-down clear. They will take the top floor battle for now.
Wall popped by the side. That's the first step done. We're seeing them hold top floor though, and they're playing a lot of the area. They're not just doing a limited hold top. It's 4 people committed together in close proximity, and then just Kawa by the side itself. So we got, oh, that's huge! He just swings the 90 hallway. Aegis takes down Yukits on the Blackbeard, but they get straight back immediately by Washoy.
There's a Blackbeard dead, though.
Established.
I mean, Soulless Blackbeard. I mean, those are 2 very big operators, but I think it's worth in the end just ever so slightly for Kinotrope. They don't have the Soulless information, though. That's the only downside. Oh, Evil Eye, that's a little bit of a prick there.
Zippity-zappity.
Zippity-zappity.
Question is, when do you fall back? The issue is, like, if Archive to be effective with the Maestro, he's got to go off the gun.
They kind of can go sight now. Without the Soulless, if they can actually avoid some of the line of sight, it becomes more difficult for Kinotrope to actually maybe then know where this plant goes down. They don't then have the confirmed position. But right now, still SCARZ positioning on this top floor. But Akayu did go back to go for, again, this 2-2 split like they did earlier in this half where it did work out. Oh, Nina's got this perfectly primed position in bunks. Catches out Gatorada. It's a 3-stack now towards the site, essentially forfeiting that top floor. And Nick, there's still 50 seconds, so SCARZ don't have to rush this.
Yeah, that's the issue with falling on back. There's not really a lot of safe areas by the bomb side, so Akai on the Maestro cannot check his gadget at all. There's going to be dead players watching him. They got to be going for the gunfights instead.
Oh,
so note they want. Kaya finds another one with the LMG. The Maestro's been so strong for Kinotrope in this series.
Through the floorboard from below for Akayu, and Eclair's gone back up top floor as well. They may not be ready for it, thinking it's a 3-stack down to the side. Eclair, has he got Washoy's name on his gun?
Back upstairs.
15 seconds. Here comes Nina. It's Eclair though. Lovely headshot up close, and that might be the demise of SCARZ. They're running out of time, and they both just fall. Kinotrope will send SCARZ packing. It's the ultimate SCAR. They finish 4th place as Kinotrope lock in top 3. They get a chance of redemption against Team Plus Kia. The very team that sent them to the lower bracket. They meet again now in lower bracket final.
Lower bracket final. I can't wait for lower bracket final. We're in there and we're ready to go. Kinotrope, baby, all the way. This is a series that always had the possibility to go the distance, and we knew it was going to. I think ultimately these 2 teams, Vinny, they're always going to have this kind of close nature, this chaotic nature to them, but ultimately an entertaining nature to them.
Super entertaining and pretty unpredictable. Every time we tried to predict what was going to happen, we were sorely wrong. We did get one in the end with the Kinotrope win. I was trying to double jinx it and get SCARZ a win, but yeah, it was a great series. It was a bloodbath, as we mentioned. Strategy-wise, it was sort of all over the place at times.
Yep.
There were often times when we said they need to be more aggressive on their defenses and start to push the pace, but then on Clubhouse in particular, we saw Kinotrope try to do that, and it backfired immediately. So yeah, all in all, a great series, and yeah, almost went to OT.
Guess what cost them, Rob? What did I say at halftime? The defense let them down 1 round short. That could have potentially been what allowed a push towards OT, and who would have known how that would have played out. I mean, I'm clutching at straws here, obviously. It doesn't necessarily have a sequential impact, but it was still around that. Unfortunately, did have a flow-on effect for them, and look, one thing to note as well, for Kinotrope, looking at it from a more positive perspective, the team that ultimately won, how great was the Maestro play over the course of that second half, man? Like, such an underrepresented operator at the moment in this current meta.
Do you know how underrepresented?
it's had what, half a dozen plays heading into the day or something.
19. What actually it would have been less. It would have been 12 plays heading into today.
So it doesn't.
12 plays.
Well, it
Michael.
just has so many counters, and you typically aren't going to see a Maestro like days of old put in too many playmaking positions, right?
Yep.
Because of how dynamic the game has become.
Yep.
So look, credit to Caillou. Having a really good impact in that match.
Yeah, pretty crazy the fact that the second least played operator, I thought it was the fifth least played operator. It's the second least played operator in the entire op pool. The only one that caps that is Cav, and I think that's pretty fair to say that should be the least. But the fact that is kind of what turns the tide in certain rounds there, it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me. But nor is the fact that this win for Kinotrope kind of starts to... I mean, if I was to be honest, at the start of the day, if you told me what team would I want to go up against D+, I'll be completely honest here. I want the underdog. I want the team that is the dark horse, Finny, because I think truly Kinotrope has a dangerous edge to them that is very hard to predict.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to get the rematch from last week, so they'll be able to sort of go back on what they were doing last week, and the match ended up being relatively close, I think, in the series, so few things to tighten up for them. Obviously tonight there's probably a few things they needed to work on as well, especially Clubhouse if they do want to go back to that map. Or if they want to be, I don't know, don't pick it, maybe.
Maybe don't pick it.
And then, try again on something else.
Yeah, and also try again with making sure you don't pull out your headphones, just in case your producer's trying to talk to you. And
you missed some great analysis.
I'm more worried that I was getting cued for something. Who knows, Michael? Sometimes we just figure things out on the fly. In fact, I knew I was missing something. It is Okamesh welcoming him in for his interview after a very big win. Okamesh, firstly, congratulations on a big win, mate. How are you feeling?
Thanks so much. The game was very intense, and then that you talk about the Clubhouse, right? We went overconfident after we beat D+ Kia in Clubhouse, and I tried to pick it, and then we vanished, I think. But anyways, I personally enjoyed the match, and then I'm very glad to win, happy to win today's match. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent performance tonight. I just wanted to ask about now the rematch coming into your next match against DW Kia or D+ Kia. What do you think you guys need to tighten up before that game?
They very good at splitting our attacking timing. Like when we every team now try to 3-2-1 and engage at the simultaneously, and they have some tips for splitting our attacking, like smoking, Goyo, Azami, blah blah blah, and then we have lost the timing. So we need to figure on how to solve their defense on attacking side. Of course, on defense, I think it's about how we be confident. Because they have champion, they have champions, so we need to be confident.
Yeah,
absolutely. One thing I'd love to talk about, Okamesh, is the Maestro. It's an operator that is very underplayed. We don't see him a lot, yet you guys played him quite a bit. Can you explain that to us?
Okay. You guys should be ban Maestro, because Maestro has 47 win rate, even it's 4v5 situation when we pick Maestro.
Okay.
Wow.
So if we pick Maestro, we can be super aggressive, and then even when we lost the opening duel, we still have 47 win rate of the round. Even if defenders get the entry kill, it goes 75% win rate or something. So that's why we love to play Maestro. We prepare for the negative situation.
Wow, that's some Moneyball strategy right there.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I did not expect that. Okamesh, thank you for... I mean, now you're kind of telling everyone they're going to have to ban it against you, but that's fantastic. Look, obviously, I think this is a very big opportunity for Kinotrope, and I'd like to know, coming into the finals, where do you put Kinotrope right now in the APAC North region? Because there are some great teams, there are some teams that are struggling behind, but we find that Kinotrope is a really dangerous team and a good dark horse. How do you feel about the roster?
I completely agree. We are obviously we are dark horse. We are not a champion. We are not best of the APAC North right now, but everyone else thinks it's very how do I say, suffer to match against us because you guys don't know what we're gonna do, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know how to say, but like they cannot predict our play style. So
yeah. We call that chaotic. Chaotic is what we would say.
Chaotic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, cool. I'm glad that you agree with that because that's what we've always seen with Kinotrope, and it's good that you've kind of lent into that personality. Okamesh, it is time for us to let you go, but before we do, would you like to say anyone watching?
Okay. If it's even Japanese or English?
You know what, Okamesh? Please do it in your native tongue. Please do it in Japanese.
Okay. Okay. I'll go for the Japanese. Okay. 見てくれてる皆さん、いつも応援本当に、感謝しております。これからもキノトロープ、日曜日ですね、試合に勝利し EWC 目指して頑張りますので応援よろしくお願いします。Thanks so much.
Okamesh, thank you very much for that, my friend. It's a true pleasure to have you on, and we will speak to you hopefully after your game against D+ Kia. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
I love Akamesh.
He's
just
so
has the
nice,
best
man.
energy.
That's the best interview.
It is
the best energy, and he leaks his own strats, which is
correct
for us.
But if you think about it, second least played operator.
He's playing mind games.
And he's got that level of strategic analysis.
I kid you not, I'm actually going to be super intrigued. I doubt we'll see the Maestro ban, but it's going to be really intriguing if we actually see direct counterplay onto that, right? Brava's really good against Maestro. There's Zophia's buffed and can spam out her utility.
Dokkaebi.
Flores is a mainstay. Dokkaebi.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting.
It's such an interesting idea as well. You said 47% win rate after you lose the first kill. So
clutch operator.
Yeah, that person that dies has like 2 or 3 extra cameras they get to flick around through.
That's crazy. That to me, like that really, like I know I was kind of taking the piss a little bit with the Moneyball analysis there, but like I actually haven't heard anyone think about it like that. Like, oh, not this operator brings this utility. No, this is what happens when we're in these positions. That's incredible to hear and something that I think it gives you a little bit of insight as to what Kinotrope have to offer. However, look, Kinotrope are great. I think Shureep might be a little bit better. I'm hoping it was Shureep that was called for the MVP. I just went with that. I heard half a word and I went, yeah, we're locking this one in. CAG by Varel are very lucky to have this player, but so are we. I think Shureep is one of those mainstays that just consistently performs week in, week out, and then in big games, he can really turn it on, Vinny.
Yeah, and they really needed him today. Obviously, we've spoken so much about Chibisu throughout the season, and then coming into today, we really expected a big performance from him, but just a little bit quiet, probably uncharacteristically quiet today, so Shureep really had to step up, and he had some really awesome rounds, especially here on Cafe, where, when his team needed those opening kills, he was able to find them.
All giggles as well, up until maybe the last couple of rounds of the third map. Mike, can I call you that? Is that all right?
Sure. It's getting late. It's getting late here, Rob.
It is getting late.
Call me whatever
you got to give me that. What? Sorry, I can do what?
You can call me whatever you want.
Oh, you be careful. How about I call you anytime? Let's go ahead and have a look at how things are panning out for the rest of the bracket here for APAC North. Really excited for that D+ Kia and Kinotrope matchup. As you said, Vinny, it is a rematch, and it does have a very big permutation to it, which is it's 2 games away from EWC. We could actually see Kinotrope do this. I'm a Kinotrope lover. I'm not a hate watcher. I'm a lover. And obviously CAG waiting for them. I think that this is a pretty expected bracket, all things considered, Mike.
Yeah, Rob.
Mike.
I don't think there's too much of a curveball. I don't think, obviously, it would have been too outlandish to have pitched SCARZ to have made it up against Kinotrope. But I think we're probably at a stage now where Kinotrope going forward are the favoured team of the two, right? They had a better performance in the group stage. They've been able to prove it now in a best-of-3 format. As of the 3 teams that remain, I can't help but shake the feeling that CAG are a level ahead. They've proven that against DWG today. But I don't think the gap is massive, and I think it has the potential to fluctuate a little bit. It comes down to on-the-day performance and how that veto does ultimately develop as well.
Do you know what the best part about finishing a little later is, Michael?
What's that?
There's a shorter gap between the next time we get to see a bit of Siege action. Do you know what's up next?
I thought you were going to say see me, but sure.
No. Do you know what's up next?
How about you tell the fans at home?
Oh, that's a good save. It's NAL time, baby. That's right. That's coming back up in an hour, so you do not have to wait long at all. In fact, we were pretty close to running over and actually having to move to the B stream because, That is the best stream after all. But NAL is going to be starting very soon, so you won't want to miss that one. Vinny, I'd like to thank you very much for jumping in, mate. Without anyone knowing it, James Devmata Stewart, I know, crazy. He's a little under the weather right now. He's not feeling too well, but he will be back maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But Vinny, thank you for joining us, mate. Would you like to say anything before we close out?
No, thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on the desk and just talk a bit and make some stuff up.
Yeah, you definitely made some stuff up today, and I think most of the time it was wrong, but that's what we love here at the APL. It's now getting really late.
That's all right. Lock in for the throw. You've got this, mate.
All right. Count me in, Michael.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much for watching the APL here for the second day of APAC North. Don't worry, if you're a fan, we will not be too long missing. We are back tomorrow with OS for the grand final. That's right, the next 3 days back to back to back are all grand finals, ones you do not want to miss. Thank you very much for joining us. Please take care, stay safe, and Michael, what is it?
Good night.
Good night, baby.